to go. I guess it wasn't that far away that I could reach out to. I said I'll hold on. It's a simple principle, but now I'm stuck on my own. I need to find a way to save myself. Since I'm not a hero, 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 since I'm not a to find a way to save myself. Since I'm not a hero, 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 since I'm not a hero. Since I'm no hero, since I'm not a hero.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, no matter where you are is and what time zone you're in. It's time for one thing, and that is PBE baseball, specifically the Minor League World Series. Welcome one, welcome all. I am your host for today, AJ887, and I am joined by the wonderful co-host that is Pirate Captain Dom. How are you doing today, Dom?
You weren't lying about the midway through the speaking thing. I'm pretty good. Thanks for having me. Really excited for this game.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good series. I'm really looking forward to it. And we actually already have a ping in the Flamingos channel. Yes, it does look like Len Kagamine is scheduled for starting game number one. um, so this is a big one for both teams because for both of these brands, um, this is their opportunity at their first World Series, their first World Series win for both of these. The Flamingos won it as the Kingston Mounties, but like neither of these brands, the Flamingos or the Lemurs, have won a World Series in their brand's history. So we're gonna have a new champion here today between these two.
Yeah. Yep.
And as we look at I wanted to make note of one thing before we headed into game. You look at the on-road and at-home stats for these two teams. Both of them are favored in this position. Like Flamingos are favored on the road, 5-1. Like they're 2-2 at home, and then the
Yeah.
Lemurs 3-0 at home and 1-2 on the road. So really, the home road factor kind of doesn't really play too much into this minor league World Series. since they're both kind of favored in this position and not so favored when they swap sides and the Flamingos become the home team. So that's
Yep.
a little bit of an interesting look at that. But Dom, you have something to read off for us as we start looking at the squads for Game One.
Yeah,
Oh,
gonna
sorry.
get gonna get a little bit of the pregame hype. So been a while since I gave a half speech, but let's get into it. Today, everyone, we are fortunate to see one of the greatest spectacles of simulation sports. The Florida Flamingos and the Louisville Lemurs do battle in this season's rendition of the Minor League World Series. What we have in front of us are not just players that are fighting for a championship today, but players that will fight for a championship for years and seasons to come. The Florida Flamingos, coming off an incredible 4-3 win over the Kansas City Hepcats, have all the momentum that they need to carry it into a World Series win, led by All-Star Keegan Halverson. My apologies. Meanwhile, Louisville, coming off a 0-4 World Series last year, they want revenge, not just on the Kingpins, not just on the Flamingos, but they want to put the entire league on notice, led by MVP candidate Lump O'Sullivan. So enjoy the show, folks. Not just watching these young players compete for this year's title, but to be the next O'Sullivans and Luongs. To compete not just for this year's title, but for years and years and years after as well. Welcome to the World Series.
Welcome indeed, and be sure to get your predictions in for this Game One. Florida Flamingos or Louisville Lemurs. Who's going to win Game One? Chat, you're going to tell us what you think with your channel points. Only one vote has gone in so far, and we're already a fourth of the way into the prediction timer. But looking at these two teams, very different roads to get here. You know, the Florida Flamingos had to endure the first round against Dallas, and
Yep.
they beat the Dynamos, and then they advanced to the semifinals and knocked out the Kansas City Hepcats as well,
Yes.
who had that first round bye to get here. Louisville Lemurs had a little bit of an easier road in the sense that they only had one series to get to the World Series, and that was against the Brew City Bears. Um, so it's gonna. So the question becomes maybe do the Florida Flamingos have a little bit of fatigue in them after two series versus the Louisville one? Do you think that plays any kind of part into today's games, Dom?
I think it does, but what I want to mention is that adversity in sports builds character, and the teams that learn how to win early are the ones that are the most biggest threat in the championship game. So while I do think the Flamingos might be coming into this, facing a harder path, and while they might be more fatigued than the Lemurs, I also believe that, they've learned how to grind out these harsh wins better. They had that incredibly close series versus the Hepcats. It was a struggle for them to. It was harder for them to even get into these playoffs. Um, so I'm interested to see if the lessons that they've learned from difficult wins will translate to this World Series.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting one to see. Sorry, I got a ping from Enoch. Just wanted to make sure that was. But like Flamingos do seem to have the advantage for the players versus the
Yep.
Lemurs. We'll get more into like some of these players and get a little more in depth on some of them a little bit later because we got
Yes.
possibly seven games to get through today. So we want to actually get on into it right off the bat.
Get started. Yep.
Yeah. So Game One submissions for the prediction have closed. Flamingos 40% of the votes are headed that way, while the Lemurs 60% of the votes are headed that way. So despite the Flamingos having the edge in the head-to-head here, chat seems to think that it's the other way around, that the Lemurs might have a decent advantage over Florida here in Game 1. With PM Scram and Len Kagamina on the mound, we are going to go ahead and get on into game first pitch of the Minor League World Series. This is going to belong to PM Scram facing off against Eddie Gar, the shortstop, who will lace it right back up the middle for a base hit after a 1-1 count. Gar advancing for second on the stolen base attempt, and he gets there. So already a runner in scoring position for the Flamingos. Keegan Halverson will go down on strikes, and it's Javithany Brizzo who will watch ball 4 go by, and now we have first and second with 1 out for Babe Bufflin, the first baseman, hitting .350 in the playoffs. Double steal is on, and they're both safe. Second and third now for Bufflin. Base hit, and the Flamingos will have the first run of the Miners World Series, as well as the second run, as Babe Bufflin advances to second on the throw. 2 RBI single for Babe Bufflin. Count Dracula is going to go down on strikes, and it's going to be yuppers with a runner in scoring position. High fly ball into right center field, but it's going to be taken care of by Eliason. And we'll head to the bottom of the first. Flamingos already out in front with a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, I got to worry about Schramm's composure down early in a big game.
Absolutely. We'll see how he handles that in the second. Len Kagamine not handling the first batter all that well. Jet Jaguar will be on board with a single into right. Forrest Gump, the catcher, will advance Jaguar along. Now we have first and second with no one out for Diddle McGee. High fly ball into center field, and that's caught by Rob Cena Jr., so we have first and second with 1 away now for Lump O'Sullivan. And Lump O'Sullivan will walk. It looked like a check swing there, but now it's bases loaded for Barry Bonds, the MVP of their previous season against Bruce City. And a sac fly will score Jet Jaguar. So now we have first and third for Escalado, and that's going to be a base hit for Escalado. First and third, and this game is tied up at 2. CJ Broussard grounder short over to second for the third out of the inning, but not before the Lemurs tie it up 2-2.
Early fireworks. Great to see 2 young rosters eager to leave an impression coming out hot.
Absolutely. Both bats firing on, or both lineups firing on all cylinders. Cabrera will ground out to the pitcher, and Datamax will strike out. It's going to be Rob Cena Jr., the center fielder, due up against PM Scram here. 371 at-bats on the season, 264 average. And that's going to be a single for Rob Cena Jr. Eddie Garr, the shortstop, launches that one into right field, and that one is a no-doubter home run by Eddie Garr. 4-2 now. Flamingos take that 2-run lead off of PM Scram, and now it's going to be Keegan Halverson with 2 outs, and the base pad's empty. You can hear the Lemurs crowd not too happy about that home run, but Scram is going to bounce back and retire Halverson on the ground out for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the second now. It's going to be Eliason. Grounder to first, and it's going to be stepped on first by Bufflin for out number 1. John Davidson, will get a single into center field, and now it's Jet Jaguar, the top of the Lemurs lineup, with 1 out. Base hit into center field. Throw to third will leave the runner at second. And now it's Forrest Gump. Base hit into right center all the way to the wall. That's going to be at least 1 RBI, maybe 2. Gump is headed for third. 2-run double, advances to third on the throw, and once again this game is tied up. Diddle McGee will ground out to the second baseman, and that's going to be out number 2, but it will score the 5th run. Lemurs have the lead for the first time this game. Lump O'Sullivan grounds out to second, and already 9 runs on the board after 2 innings, 5-4 in favor of the Lemurs. Both starting pitchers having a bit of a rocky start to the World Series here. Javithany Brizzo will ground out to first, an unassisted out. Babe Bufflin, single into left. Now we have a runner on first with 1 out for Count Dracula, the left fielder. Lines that right to the left fielder, Jet Jaguar, left fielder to left fielder. And yuppers will go down on strikes against PM Scram. So the first inning where no runs are on the board. Still 5-4 in favor of the Lemurs, and they have a chance to add on some insurance runs here. Barry Bonds, high fly ball into right center field. Both outfielders head for it, but it's going to be the center fielder, Rob Cena Jr., who puts the glove on the ball. Escalado, the DH, base hit into right. Runner on first with 1 away for CJ Broussard. High fly ball, but that's kind of a routine grab for the left fielder, Dracula. Now it's Eliason with 2 away. Grounder's shortstop over to second. And the Lemurs will get nothing for the first time in this game that they score no runs in an inning. 5-4 Lemurs as we head to the top of the 4th. PM Scram still on the mound. High fly ball to right field, almost back to the warning track, but Broussard is going to take care of it. Dexter Datamax will draw a walk against Scram. Rob Cena Jr. launches that one into right center field. And the center fielder Eliason will take care of it for out number 2. Eddie Gar's going to watch as the ball gets by the catcher, Forrest Gump, unable to put the glove on it, and that will advance Dexter Datamax to second. Eddie Gar draws a walk on a 3-1 count, and now it's Keegan Halverson who will fly out to left field for out number 3. 5-4, Lemurs over the Flamingos as we head to the bottom of the 4th. It's going to be Davidson and then the top of the Lemurs order against Len Kagamine. Davidson grounder to third, over to first, and that's out number 1. Jet Jaguar. That one almost all the way out to the left fielder, but Eddie Gar is going to track back and grab it. Forrest Gump and a diving stop by the center fielder, Rob Cena Jr. Get that man a gold glove. What a play. 5-4 Lemurs as we head to the top of the 5th, and Dom is going to take you from here.
Yes, so Brizzo up, and he's going to strike out. If you're a batter on one of these teams, you are happy that your pitchers are finally exercising some control of the game, as that is going to be a single by the first baseman batting about 395 in this series. That one is going to be a high pop-up and doesn't even leave the diamond. Dracula out. Yuppers sends that one left. It's going just shy of the warning track, and that is going to be a quick inning. One man does get a hit, but it is a quick 3 outs, and we are at the bottom of the 5th now. McGee up, and that's going to be a ground out, easily handled. O'Sullivan up. That's going to be another ground out, and Bonds going to get the walk. So 2-out walk, generally pretty frowned upon in pitching circles. But it doesn't matter that much as they get a strikeout from the DH. And another scoreless inning. What started out as a very rocky start for pitchers. Both have really cleaned up after the second inning. This inning's top of the 6th going to start off with a walk. Datamax gets a single there. Cena Jr. Not sure what that was. That's going to be a bunt. And, what should have been an out instead, trouble with fielding, and that's going to lead to a 0-out, 2 RBI knock.
Wow.
There, just in time. What an egregious throwing error. You have to catch that as the third baseman, and this might be a double play. It is. Runner on third, and that strikeout is the 3rd out. So 2 runs for the Flamingos, who take their lead back in the series 6-5 off of a incredibly unfortunate fielding error at third.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Yeah, that was a really weird animation. Broussard flies out. That is going to be... that was one of those animations where you couldn't tell if it was a single or a really high pop-up. But it's a pop-up, and that is 3 quick outs there. Davidson the last to go out. So Louisville losing some momentum here. Flamingos leading and quick at bat again. That's going to be a pop out. If you're a pitcher and your guys just scored 2 runs, you want to give them really good innings so they can get out there and bat again, but maybe they needed more time to prepare. 2 quick pop outs. There's going to be a walk by Yuppers, the catcher. Cabrera is going to send that one just shallow of the center fielder. Ideal blooper range. And Datamax grounds out. Fielder's choice at second. So that is a scoreless inning there. We head to the bottom of the 7th, assuming I can still count. Jaguar sends that one deep. At the warning track. Nice running play there. This one gonna be a much more shallow pop fly. McGee up, gets the walk. A lot of 2-out walks here. Not coming to bite the pitchers yet, but not a mistake you want to be giving. And that one isn't going to either. That's a ground out. Really good fielding there by the shortstop, and that's going to be out number 3. We are at the top of the 8th. Flamingos up to bat, leading by 1 run, and might be leading by more. That one deep, and it is gone. Cena Jr., the center fielder, gets his second homer of this series and extends that lead by one more. What a huge insurance run going into the top of the eighth. And Gar up next. This one going to be a pop fly, so maybe a little less power than the last at bat. Halverson in a line out there. And Brizzo, another pop out. So a solo shot at the top of the eighth gives them an extra run of insurance, but the rest of the Flamingos don't have the same momentum at the bat, and they are at the bottom of the eighth. Bonds going to get a single. Lemurs really want to get a run here, if not later. Make that comeback a more promising task, as that's going to be a pop out by the designated hitter. And oh, what a costly double play. Broussard, with a runner on first and one out, grounds into two. And just like that, we have one inning left in this game one of the Miners World Series. The first baseman, it's a close play, but does ground out. Dracula up next. This is going to be a single. Dracula gets on base, yuppers, strikes out swinging. Nice movement there by Ring Julian. And that's going to be a deep single. Datamax. Also going to send this one deep. That might be another insurance run. It is. They're going for two, but he is well out. Ooh, that was some tough base running there, but still another run of insurance, and Flamingo sitting pretty. Shades of the Hepcats game where they got a 5-run lead at the bottom of the ninth. That's going to be a strikeout. Lemurs down to 2 outs in this game. Davidson is up to bat, and he's going to strike out swinging too. Nolan Nola, who was praised by his GM earlier in an interview, already has 2 strikeouts. Jaguar, and that one is heading deep, and that is gone. So Jaguar ties this one to a 2-run game. I don't know why I said tie. Sends this one to a 2-run game. Lemurs still trail by 2 runs. Gump up to bat. He gets a walk. McGee is the tying run at the plate, the shortstop. 2 outs, and that might not. Oh, he's just short, and they get the ground out. Lemurs had a chance, but it squanders away, and the Flamingos get an 8-6 run in Game 1 of the World Series. My screen is pretty blurry, so you're going to take this box score, AJ.
All right, sounds good. So the Florida Flamingos are going to win Game 1 here. And I'll go ahead and pay out the prediction real quick. And there we go. As we go through the box score, we're going to take a look at some of these stats here. 3 for 5 with 3 runs for Jaguar. Gump had a good game as well, knocking in 2 on the side of Louisville. But Eddie Gar, my goodness, 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 2 runs. He had one heck of a game at the top of the Florida lineup there. And 3 for 5 for 2 RBIs. Bufflin had a good game as well. PM Scram will take the loss here, while Len Cagamina will get the win, but both starters getting rocked kind of hard in the first couple of innings. Pardon will get a hold, and Nola will get their 5th save of the playoffs, while Post Scott blows a save for Louisville, despite not being accredited with a run. It's all about those inherited runs from PM Scram. But Eddie Gar will be your player of the game. And that will be Game 1 of the Miners World Series in the books. Florida Flamingos take a 1-run lead. We're going to go ahead and save.
Might be important.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that just based on, if you look at the standings from, the regular season, right, Louisville Lemurs would seem to be favored over the Flamingos just based on those regular season standings, but Flamingos coming away with this one.
This Flamingos roster is, I think it's a word that's thrown around too much in modern sports, but they're clutch. They get hits in late innings when it matters most to get insurance or the lead. They had incredible situational hitting against the Hepcats, and in that game they had great hitting against the Lemurs too. So we'll see if they can continue that trend. But great place for your batters to get big ribbies.
Absolutely. I'm just making sure of any changes. Let's see. Lemurs want to take a look at their stamina. Absolutely, we can do that, Davey. Let's see. All right, so stamina for PM Scram, he's at 0% after just pitching. Ronlin and Crimps are the other two starters. Ronlin is 100% rested. So is Crimps. Bullpen 71% on Julian and 51% on Post Scott. Everyone else pretty good. So there's the stamina for you guys. Let me know if you have any changes that you need to make, Lemurs. And in the meantime, very good games for some players that haven't had maybe their playoff like moment yet. Like you think of
Sure.
Eddie Garr and Babe Bufflin. Flamingos have already had two uh, two batters in their lineup already have series MVPs in the playoffs with Halverson and
Yep.
Brizzo. Halverson in the first round against Dallas, Brizzo in the semifinals against Kansas City. So you're getting a lot of different players that are really standing out, um, and that's good for team morale too. Like
Yes.
no
Yeah.
one's really like thinking, oh, my player is really stinking up the joint. You get a little bit of love for everyone. So okay, we'll get
It,
some
you know, it
following lineup changes. Okay.
it's often it's I often refer to minors playoffs as the great equalizer because what happens in majors is the good teams pull away further as the season go on. In minors, because of the cap, it narrows, and when we hit playoffs, it's more like 6 50-50 games, which is what I like so much about the minors is the cap makes good teams and bad teams closer together. Creates more upsets.
Absolutely. All right, Davey had a lineup change recommendation. Davey, this is what we've changed it to per your note. It's the same for both handedness. Just want to make sure, verify that it looks good for you. Excellent. All right, we're going to go ahead and save then before actually entering the game. We'll head back to the head-to-heads. Flamingos said let it ride, so we are going to let it ride for the Flamingos. Lemurs have made a little bit of a lineup change. I noticed the swing here too. Look at
Interesting.
this.
Yep.
Definitely a little bit of a change in the head-to-head. It was Florida Flamingos last game having the lead, but now it looks like the Lemurs bats seem to have the advantage, at least in the top five. And then in the back half of the lineups, the Flamingos have a little bit stronger later hitters. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so this will be an interesting look between these two teams with these new changes added. You had something else that you were ready to read out for the.
Yeah, the interview with Unconfident. So if a mod could start that game two
Yeah, I'll get that going.
prediction, yeah, while I read this. All right, so I got to talk with Unconfident, a very well known member, and Flamingo's GM or co-GM. Do you know which one he is?
Unconfident, I believe, is the main GM, but I'm
Okay.
not positive.
Well, Unconfident, I apologize for not knowing your official title, but I interviewed him about this World Series. First, I asked him what it means to be in the World Series, and he told me that it's hype that they could be there and compete for their guys and their players. And for him and Busha, it's great that all the work we're putting in is paying off not only in the locker room and getting future PvE players, but also in field success. When asked about who's been the most valuable in this postseason run, he said that there's a lot of players doing great, but Nolan Nola has been fantastic. He's been very clutch when it mattered, and he's been exactly what the Flamingos bullpen needed. And that was shown, just last game where he got those last 3 outs. And when I asked him if he either wanted to trash talk or say something to the team, he just responded, "Let's Flamingo." So that's what we got from an Unconfident. Always a great guy to talk to.
Good confidence for someone named Unconfident. uh, but yeah, predictions are live. Make sure that you get Make sure you get your channel points on the cutting board there. Will the Lemurs bounce back? Yes, the Lemurs will win, or no, the Flamingos will win. If the Flamingos do win here, they will take a 2-0 lead in the series. If the Lemurs win, they tie it up 1-1. I took your joke, Diesel. Oh no, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh man. Two of your least favorite people. I thought it was your favorite. Thought it was your favorite sloth, Sarah. Or did you mean unconfident Dom? That
She was
might be
making
it.
fun of me and I'm confident. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay, that makes more
Yeah.
sense.
That's my co-jam. Um,
Oh man, that's right. You guys, you two are now the
yeah, Kingpins.
yeah,
Yep.
the new Kingpins GMs.
Yeah, I
When did
have
that officially
no.
take effect?
It you know I love them to death. This has been discussed for a while, but Dag just kind of threw it on us one time. Um, but we made the decision like midway through this season. It's
Gotcha,
just been the transition until then.
gotcha. Okay. Well, we don't want
Um,
to dwell too much on the Kingpins because this is the Lemurs and Flamingos show. You guys had your moment last season. But
believe me, it's gonna take a bit before we're back in there. We are in quite a rebuild.
yeah. Well, the World Series hangover will happen occasionally, but
It does.
yeah,
Yeah.
Flamingos are the favorites in terms of the votes. 54% of the votes in the prediction heading for the Flamingos, while 46 go to the Lemurs. Although it looks like more people are actually voting for the Lemurs, so those three that put votes onto Flamingos really piled on the channel points there in comparison.
Wow.
But we have a game to get to. Game 2 of the Miners World Series.
Woo.
Flamingos versus Lemurs. I'm going to very quickly pause once we get into game because I noticed that the BNN scoreboard was up there despite there being no game, so I'm going to turn that off when we get on into game. But here we go. Game 2 of the Miners World Series. Flamingos versus the Louisville Lemurs. James Ronlin on the mound for the Louisville Lemurs will be the first one to pitch and will immediately get a strikeout onto Keegan Halverson. Keegan Halverson didn't lead off last time. Oh, it's probably different right-handed versus left-handed lineups. I was like, did the sim mess up and change the lineup? No, it's got to be right-handed, left-handed. That's got to be it. Gar will fly out to right center, and James Ronlin will get Javithany Brizzo to ground out to second base to Davidson. And a very quick 1-2-3 inning, very different looking first inning from game 1. We go top of the Lemurs batting order in the bottom of the order, and that's an error. Count Dracula with what seemed to be a routine fly ball is going to drop it and allow Jaguar onto first base. O'Sullivan strikes out, and Jaguar takes off for second. Now we have a runner in scoring position for Forrest Gump, who walks on a 3-1 count. It's Barry Bonds with runners on first and second, and that's going to load up the bases. A drawn walk by Barry Bonds. Diddle McGee grounds into a 5-4-3 double play, and that's going to end the Lemurs' threat here. No hits, but they load the bases. We head to the top of the second now. Flamingos looking to put their first run on the board in this one. Babe Bufflin's going to ground out to the shortstop. Count Dracula goes down and strikes, and we very quickly have 2 outs here, but the bases are empty. It's going to be yuppers. Flamingos need a base runner here to try and score, but nothing, as the ground out to Davidson will end the inning. We head to the bottom of the second now. Lemurs getting their next look at it. Nico Parsons back on the mound. It's going to be Escalado grounding out to Datamax for out number 1. Broussard, a ground out of their own. This one to the left side of the infield to Eddie Gar. Kyle Eliason is going to get that one past the second baseman. Datamax unable to come up with it, and Eliason is on board with a single. Davidson lines that one into right field, and a diving catch onto the warning track by Javithany Brizzo. What a play to stop the inning dead in its tracks. We head to the top of the third now. Still no score here in Louisville. Down the line, a young M. Cabrera will get a base hit. That's going to be a double for Cabrera. Dexter Datamax lines that right up the middle. Shortstop ranged over really quickly to get that one and throw on to first for the out. Rob Cia Jr. high fly ball into right center field. Is that going to be enough to get Cabrera home? It is. The throw is late, and Florida will put their first run on the board 1-0. Keegan Halverson will draw a walk on a full count. And will advance. No, he will get caught stealing. Gunned down by Forrest Gump. So the runner taking off the base paths as quickly as they got on the base paths. 1-0 Florida. We head to the bottom of the third. High fly ball to center field. Jet Jaguar will go down on the fly out. Lumpo Sullivan heads back to the bench on the strikeout as Nico Parsons. That's strikeout number 2 for them in this game. It's going to be Forrest Gump, the catcher. Oh, almost over the head of the second baseman, right all the way out into shallow right field. Dexter Datamax, man, really has some range going on there. We have Eddie Garr now, who's going to get an infield single as Lumpo Sullivan couldn't get the ball over to first in time. He'll steal second as well, so now they have a runner in scoring position. Javitha Nebrza goes down, strikes Babe Bufflin, launches that one into center field, and that's going to fall to the left of the center fielder. And that's going to be a double for Babe Bufflin, a RBI double as the Flamingos now double their lead to 2-0. Count Dracula grounds out to the second baseman. Yuppers will do the same. So the Flamingos add on to their lead 1 run. It is now 2-0. As we'll see Nico Parsons back on the mound to face off against Barry Bonds of the Lemurs lineup. That one wasn't foul?
Yeah, that was interesting.
Wow, that one. It must have been fair curving foul.
It must have hit the bag or something.
I don't know. That was weird. But Bonds is on first. McGee is out, and Escalada goes down, strikes. CJ Broussard will draw a walk. Now we have Kyle Eliason. First and second with 2 outs. High fly ball. Not leaving the infield, and it's going to be caught by Dexter Datamax. 2-0 Florida, and that foul fair ball that we weren't so sure about won't matter much as we head to the top of the 5th. Over to Dom.
All right, that's going to be a quick strikeout by Cabrera. Both pitchers really dominating the pace so far this game. Datamax up to bat, and that is going to be a middle of the field single just in between the shortstop and the second baseman. Cena Jr., another single just in between fielders there. Runners on first and second, and that might get him out of this. No throw attempted on first, so a fielder's choice, and that's likely going to be it. It is the 3rd out of this inning. So the Flamingos get something going, but not enough to get a run, as the Lemurs, who seem to be batting very well at the start of this game, and then that double play, as that's a pop-out by Davidson, that double play just robbed them of momentum, and now they're hardly able to get something going. But Jaguar, matching the animal of his name in a quick, oh no, did he get picked off? He did! So he beats out the ball on an infield single, but then gets caught stealing, and O'Sullivan grounds out. So a wasted opportunity there. That was an interesting steal attempt. And we have Barizzo up to bat, who's going to just beat out the ball. Very close play there on first. By Feeligan going to drop this one. Once again, runners on first and second for the Flamingos. No outs this time. That one is deep, fielded by the center fielder, and Barizzo does not go. But that's going to be likely an RBI. Yep, Barizzo chugging along, just gets in there. A 3-0 lead here for the Flamingos. The Yuppers gets an RBI single. That's going to be a strikeout swinging by the DH Datamax. The second baseman pops out mid-right field, and that is going to be out number 3. So Flamingos get yet another run, and the pressure mounts and mounts on the Lemurs batting squad to get something going here. This Gump is going to strike out up a Freddy. In now for in relief. That one going to be a pop out. Didn't even get to the diamond. And that one is at the warning track caught. So a 1-2-3 inning, and that is going to keep it a 3-0 game from a scoreless bottom of the 6th. That is the 6th, right? Yes.
Yep.
Gotta make sure I can still count. Acuna Jr. gonna strike out there. Halverson up to bat. Won Series MVP versus the Hepcats. Likely not winning MVP for that swing though, as that's a ground out. And Gar gonna rocket that one just in between the diamond and the outfield. And Brizzo gonna pop out. Very nice, easy catchable ball there for the right fielder, and that is out number 3. So the Flamingos, another scoreless inning, but only 3 left for the Lemurs. They have to get something going, and that's not how you do it. Another pop out. Broussard gets a strikeout looking. Is that an 0-2 pitch and you just look at it? Come on now. You gotta at least try to swing
you
there.
swing it away.
That's gonna be a double, so their first hit of this inning with 2 outs. And then it doesn't matter as Davidson just watches that one go past him. And that's going to be still keeping the 3-0 game. 2 innings left in this one. Ground out there. Nice throw by the shortstop. And that one, a pop out. And yuppers, already 2 quick outs. Make it 3. So another shutdown inning by Louisville pitching and fielding, but sometimes those fielders also have to swing the ball, have to, hit the ball, and right now they're not doing that. So that's going to be another ground out number 1. O'Sullivan sends that one. That's a nice hit. Finally some batting starting before 2 outs, so runner on second, 1 out. And that one just passed the glove, and oh no, he's going to get, oh no!
What was
He
that?
has control of the ball! The catcher doesn't apply the tag, and that costs them an RBI.
I'm in shock. It just looked like it went right by him.
All right. Louisville gets 1 run. They're going to have to get 2 more at the bottom of the 9th if they want to tie this one up, as the DH is going to strike out. That was an incredible play. Datamax gonna get a nice hit there. It's a single. 1 out, 1 on. Inning 9, and that might be a double play. It is. All right, so Louisville, thanks to some erroneous fielding, only has to get 2 runs to tie this one, but still, they've been struggling all day. Bats better come up hot against Parton, and that's exactly what you need, a lead-off single. You got your bloop, now you need a blast. And that might be it. Broussard sends that one to the corner, and that is runners on second and third, no outs.
Oh.
And bases loaded. Davidson has a chance here. And that one is going deep, but it's going to be a sac fly. No, he doesn't go. Okay, 1 out. And that's going to be it. That's at least the tie game. A 2 RBI single.
Wow.
Close play. Runners on first and second, 1 out. O'Sullivan has a chance to win this one. He strikes out swinging. Gump up next, the catcher. And that one might do it. Has he done it?
That's it.
Gump walks it off.
Wow.
The Lemurs win it in the 9th.
What a
3-1 9th capped off by Gump.
Wow.
And this is a tied series. Wow, that was fantastic. Look at that graph, to quote Hummus.
What a comeback by the
Lemurs. Incredible. Okay, I'm sure Twitch chat's gone crazy right now. So, for our box score, Jaguar gets a 2 RBI, 2-hit day. Gump gets the walk-off. Has 2 RBIs, actually. 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a walk. For Florida, the 3 RBIs belonging to it's by feel again, right?
Bufflin, I believe.
Bufflin,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, sorry for trying to make that like more French. And then Yuppers and Raw and Cena Jr. all have RBIs. For our pitching, Julian gets the win in relief, throws 2 pitches, it allows a hit, and
That's all
gets
you
the
need.
win. Parton gets the loss and the blown save. 1.1 innings pitched, 3 earned runs. Both starting pitchers, Ron Lane struggled a little bit, gives up 3 earned and 6, and Parsons gives up none and 5. And Nico Parsons is your player of the game.
I like
What
that.
an incredible comeback!
I like that there was 2 pitches, 2 outs for King Julian.
Yeah.
That's like the peak of efficiency. But wow, a
Man.
comeback from the Lemurs to tie the series at 1, and now it is essentially a best of 5 series. It's as if
Finally got to call a walk-off.
yeah,
I've been waiting so
that's
long
so
to
fun,
do
isn't
that.
it?
Yeah, it's great.
Let me go ahead and update the ticker real quick. But yeah, tie series after a comeback in the bottom of the 8th and 9th by the Louisville. You can't write this stuff. You can't. That's crazy.
I certainly couldn't write that dropped catcher ball.
Oh my gosh.
That was a while. It ended up they would have tied the game either way, but you have to think if he doesn't give if they tie that up and then they get the next out, then we're in extra innings. So probably a very costly error, all things considered.
I'm just
Man,
gonna
this
double check
series
and
is
make sure
shaping
that the
out.
schedule. Yeah, okay. So no, it was all right.
It's like we wanted it to.
All right. So we have an off day, a travel day, as we head to Florida for the next 3 games of the World Series. All 3 will be played. It's not like there's after that win by the Lemurs, there will be a game 5 in this 7-game series. So we're going to go ahead and finish off the travel day. And let's see, Flamingos. All right, Flamingos are okay. And Lemurs, any changes that you would like to make as well? Wow, that is that's some crazy stuff that we saw there in the.
I am shaking a little bit, actually. That's crazy.
All right, both teams are saying let it ride, so we are already all set for Game 3 here in Florida with new pitchers that we haven't seen so far this series. Damian Jansen Crenshaw for the Flamingos and Pete Crimps for the Louisville Lemurs.
Both pitchers looking like they're having a pretty rough season with ERAs above 4.20 for both. And, Crenshaw looking a little better, 31 overall, 4.28 ERA, but it looks like this should be, in theory, the most offensive-oriented game of the series. Which, of course, means we're going to get 8 innings of no-hit.
And
the series is tied 1-1.
Yeah.
Sub-5 ERAs go in the minors. Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. Pitchers in the minors just kind of get knocked around a lot. Totally fair.
You talk about looking at the pitchers as the prediction is live. Go ahead and predict who's going to take Game 3, the Louisville Lemurs or the Florida Flamingos. But yeah, so as you mentioned, the 2 pitchers both not having too great of a season, although Jansen Crenshaw definitely had a better ERA and WHIP than and better record too than Crimps did. But you look at versus the team specifically as well. Pete Crimps 0-2 with a 7.31 ERA doesn't fare well against this Florida lineup. Does not. Meanwhile, Damian Jansen Crenshaw 2-0 with a 3.93 ERA definitely fares a lot better against the Lemurs than Crimps does against the Flamingos. So
yes.
if I'm a betting man, I'm looking for the Lemurs Lemurs bats to kind of wake up and keep rolling off of that momentum that they built in the 8th and 9th inning of last game, and well, I was just I messed that up, but Lemurs will need to get that momentum against Jansen Crenshaw, as Crenshaw does seem to have that have a better time against the Lemurs bats, but I'm looking for the Flamingos lineup to have a better time at the plate in this game against Pete Crimps.
Yep.
Just based on previous history with these pitchers, but
Yes.
so make sure to get your predictions in. Only about 20 seconds left on the prediction. And then I think we would be about ready to get on into game. But we talked about a little bit about some of the previous MVPs like Halverson, Brizzo, and Bonds.
Yes.
Who do you think is the MVP so far this series? Like, if you had to pick someone who you think is like kind of a,
Can I say the entire bottom of the Flamingos order?
sure.
Um, because I'm having trouble. In my opinion, I actually think Data Max is getting some really, really important hits exactly when it matters. Um, it's maybe the lack of fielding could be called the MVP of this one. But Data Max is looking great for the Flamingos. He's having important hits when it matters, and like I was saying, this Flamingos squad excels at clutch hitting. Um, for Louisville, really liking what I'm seeing out of Jaguars so far. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it seems like he's their guy that kind of sets everything up tempo. He's the one that beats out ground balls. He's the one that attempts steals, and bringing that sort of energy into an important game is great. And I also think he's batting very well. And then of course, Gump had the walk off. Hard to disqualify a walk off, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but a lot of series left. We'll see.
I would absolutely agree with all those picks. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see who eventually becomes the series MVP after
Yeah,
Game
yep.
7. Well, after whichever game ends the series, be it 7 or be it 5 or 6, maybe it could be the middle. But we'll see at least 5 games here, which means that we got some more baseball to get to. So we're gonna head on into game number 3 of the Minors World Series. Both teams 1 win.
Yep.
As we head on into game number 3. It's going to be Damian Jansen Crenshaw versus Pete Crimps. And Jansen Crenshaw will be on the mound first, and we'll get Jaguar to fly out to start the game. And a diving catch in center field by Rob Cena Jr., who retired Lumpo Sullivan. Long shot, though, by Forrest Gump! And he continues the power hitting first with the walk-off in last game, and now with a solo shot in the top of the first. Forrest Gump, 436 feet on the how far did it fly? Lemurs already up 1-0. Barry Bonds with a fly out to center field, and it's not often so far this series that the Lemurs have had a lead, but they're starting off strong in this one. Eddie Garr, the shortstop, hot hitting. It's going to fly out to the left fielder Jaguar. Halverson launches that into left center field, but going back for it and putting the glove on the ball is Kyle Eliason. And Javithani Brizzo is going to go down strikes. Flamingo sent down in order by Pete Crimps. And we'll see numbers 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Lemurs due up here in the top of the second. Dido McGee, the shortstop, is going to get that one down for a base hit in front of Brizzo. McGee on board with a single. Esteban Escaledo, high fly ball into center field, and Cena Jr. will make the catch. CJ Broussard launches that one into left field, and that one was also a no-doubter off the bat. CJ Broussard will put the Lemurs up now, 3-run lead for Louisville. 432 feet, and you hear the boos from the crowd coming in. Florida crowd not too happy.
That is the sound of complimentary baseball. Of the pitchers and the batters finally working together for Louisville.
Absolutely. Eliason with a base hit. And Davidson is going to fly out to center field. So now we have 2 outs with a runner on first for Jet Jaguar, who launches that one into left field, but that one's not going to have the gas on it to get out of the park. 3-0 Lemurs. The 2-run homer by Broussard is going to help increase that lead that they had in the first inning. It's going to be Bufflin. High fly ball into right center. And that's going to be caught by Eliason. Dracula launches that into center field, but that one's going to get down, and that's going to be a base hit. A double for Count Dracula, the left fielder. Yuppers goes down on strikes. And now it's going to be a young M. Cabrera on the DH for the Flamingos, and that's a base hit. That's going to score a run. Flamingos on the board this game. And now we have a ball game with 3-1 the score. It's going to be Dexter Datamax, the second baseman. Pop fly foul. Racing over to it is Forrest Gump, who grabs that for out number 3. Flamingos will get a run on the board here as we head to the top of the third, but they're still down 2 runs as the Lemurs take a 2-run lead into this third inning. O'Sullivan will walk against Jansen Crenshaw. It's going to be Forrest Gump now. Lines that right to the second baseman, who throws on to second for 1, and Gump gets doubled up as that's going to be out number 2 on the double play. Barry Bonds draws a walk. Diddle McGee. Fly ball into right field, but it's going to get down, and that's a base hit. Single for McGee, and now we have runners at the corners for Escalado. Grounder short, over to second, and that is going to be a fielder's choice to end the inning. Still 3-1 Lemurs, heading to the bottom of the third. Florida needs to get some base runners on here and try and get back into this one. They're only 2 runs out of it, so it's not an insurmountable lead. There's plenty of time left in this game for Florida to make a comeback. A walk by... what just happened there? Walk by Cia Jr. And then Eddie Garr is going to get a single. Very close play at third. Runners at the corners. Halverson will get a base hit, and now we have first and second with no one out for Javithany Brizzo. Javithany Brizzo draws a walk.
Boy.
And now we have bases loaded with no one out for Babe Bufflin against Pete Crimps. Grounder to second, over to second for 1, over to first, and that's a double play. No RBI on the play, but a run does score. It's 3-3 tie game thanks to Bufflin. It's going to be Count Dracula. And a diving stop by Eliason. This game is tied at 3. Flamingos' bats really came alive that inning, and now we head to the top of the fourth with a 3-run tie between these two teams. C.J. Broussard, the right fielder, hits that one into right field for a base hit. And now we have Kyle Eliason with a runner on first and no one out. Over to third, over to second, no! That is going to be ruled as an error against the Flamingos defense. And now, after getting runners on first and second, Davidson does go down in strikes, and so does Jaguar. Jansen Crenshaw hopefully is not going to let that failed double play rattle him. And with a ground out, will end the inning. So after the error, no damage, no further damage done, no runs on the board for Louisville. Bottom of the fourth, Florida up. It's going to be Yuppers with a base hit. He's heading to second. Throw is late. Yuppers with a double. Cabrera, base hit into center field. Runner will not come home to score, and now we have runners at the corners with no one out for Dexter Datamax. Grounder to first, over to second for 1, back over to first. Safe. That will be ruled as a fielder's choice, as Datamax is going to be able to beat that out. Yuppers does score, and Florida now takes a 1-run lead. It's Rob Cena Jr. High fly ball into center field, and that's going to be out number 2. Eddie Garr, the shortstop, goes down on strikes. Florida does take a 1-run lead here, their first lead of this ball game. We head to the top of the 5th with Dom taking us the rest of the way.
You know, what's striking me about this game is only 7 runs scored, which is still pretty high scoring, but both pitchers allowing a lot of contact. Only 5 combined strikeouts, I think 6 now. As Gump did go out there looking, make it 7. Maybe I jinxed him a little bit, but baseball is a game of probability, and when you allow contact, there's a chance that it will be a hit and that it will be an out. But if you get that strikeout, it's always an out, obviously, right? There's going to be a grounded by McGee. So these pitchers allowing way too much contact, especially deep balls. The Flamingos had a lot of really early deep balls, so that's going to be a single by Halverson. They're lucky they didn't get Louisville's lucky they didn't get more runs off of, because there's a successful steal. Rizzo up to bat. And straight. Oh, what a throw! Are you kidding me?
Wow.
The right fielder, an incredible transition from grab to throw. and he gets him out on the attempt to go from second to third, and that is a quick inning. Lead stays 4-3 Flamingos.
CJ
That
Broussard
was
with
a
a good game
cannon.
so far.
Yeah. There's a single by the DH. Should have stopped drinking water because now I'm gonna have to like burp a couple times. There's gonna be a pop out. That is a grounder, but no one in position to make a good play on it. And there's a strikeout. 1 hour remaining. Runners on first and second. Jaguar up takes the strikeout. Very nice pitch there by Crenshaw to put this one away. And lead remains 4-3. Um, Despite Louisville out hitting them 8-7. That's gonna be a ground out. Yep, Yuppers sends that one to the center fielder. Cabrera also going to ground out. So another quick inning there as the pitchers have regained control of this game. Pete Krimps and Crenshaw still in, doing much better these last two innings than they have been the ones before. We entered the top of the seventh. O'Sullivan. It was a weird looking ball, but it ends up being a ground out. Gump gonna strike out, swinging. Bonds, the first baseman, up to bat, batting 4-1-4 postseason, and that one going to lower that just a bit as that is a pop out. Nice run and grab by the right fielder. We enter the bottom of the seventh. Flamingos looking to get more insurance runs. An incredibly similar situation to game one where they were leading. Batters can't take back momentum, so they increase it.
Oh,
Datamax gets on first, and then that was quite a play there. That was I guess we'll call that a pop out.
that's a pop out bunt.
Yeah, that was interesting. And they are unable to capitalize on the Datamax single as two pop outs and a ground out. Give them all three outs, and we head to the top of the eighth. Louisville still trailing by one, now tied 8-8 in hits. That was what basically was a bunt, even though it was a proper swing. That's going to be a strikeout there. Broussard up to bat, the right fielder, with two outs. This has to be a good hit if they want this inning to continue. And it is a pretty good one. That's going to be a single. Eliason, the center fielder, up and thought it was a single. Nope, it's a pop fly in the diamond. And that is going to be out number 3. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Flamingos have one more chance to increase their lead by more than one run, trying to avoid a similar circumstance from last game. That's going to be a nice single by Brizzo. And that is
Oh,
a double play ball, and they
yep.
turn it. Very nice fielding there. Nice throw by the shortstop. Dracula sends that one real deep. It has a chance, but it's caught on the run. So Louisville has 3 outs, and they need to get a run to tie this one. Of course, they're at the top of the 9th, so the Flamingos will get another shot at it either way if they don't tie it up. Davidson gets on base. Jaguar up next. We got a steal attempt. Davidson gets there, tying run and scoring position. That's going to be a strikeout by Jaguar. O'Sullivan up, batting a measly 176, and now worse. That's another strikeout swinging. Nola looking to put this one away. Gump
Oh, wow.
strikes out. He cannot repeat his heroics from last game, and instead, Flamingos take this one 4-3. In a game that was dominated by a bunch of pitchers that we spent a time talking about how much they've been struggling.
Nola struck out the side there in the top of the
Yeah, that
ninth to
was
finish it
filthy.
off. Well done to Nola. He'll get the save, going 2 shutout innings for Florida. Jansen Crenshaw gets their 3rd win of the playoffs, improving to 3-1 with a quality start. Crimps goes 7 innings, gives up 4 runs and takes the loss. You look at the batting, 3 for 4 for CJ Broussard, with that 2-run home run in the 2nd inning and a great throw to gun down a runner advancing to 3rd later in the game. Taking a look at the player of the game, it is going to be Damian Jansen Crenshaw with the great start on the mound for Florida.
Yep.
Not often do you see quality starts of that length in the minors, but
Yep.
Lasers player really
Yeah.
really putting to the Lemurs bats there, and we mentioned kind of in the pregame like Jansen Crenshaw, decent stats against the Lemurs, Crimps not so
Hmm.
much, and it really kind of rang true for Game 3 as Florida will get the win to advance to 2-1 on the series. So I'll go ahead and make that change on the ticker, and then I will go ahead and pay out the prediction.
It was almost prophetic that we interviewed Unconfident, and the first person that he had to say was responsible for their success was Nolan Nola with a .6 ERA and two saves in this World Series so far. I mean, it's really turned out. Um, he helped them in the earlier rounds, and he is a star in these playoffs right now. Which, of course, by me saying that is going to jinx it, and now he's going to blow a save. But um, he's looking fantastic, and you can really see. There's something to be said when you hit playoffs, and the bats tend to dry up a little bit. Having an elite, consistent closer slash reliever is one of the most important traits. You're seeing it in the real World Series as well, right? With that fantastic Atlanta game. But having a guy like Nolan Nola is just it's hard to overstate how important it is to, as a manager, have someone that you can put on the mound and be confident in his ability to maintain a lead, no matter how big or small that lead is.
Very true. Yeah, uh, to have that arm in the pen is really really good to have that go-to guy.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like Nola definitely is that for the Flamingos already with two saves in the series alone in Game 1 and Game 3. Um, so as we take a look at the kind of playoff coverage here, I'm just kind of looking at some of these stats in terms of the playoffs against like this playoff series in particular. Lemurs definitely having better luck at the top of the order, right? Like you have five players all above
Yes.
300 in the average, and with the Flamingos, pretty similar. I mean, 500 for Eddie Gar, who's having a great series, already 6 for 12. Cabrera and Datamax at 455 each, but the last four batters in the lineup for both sides kind of struggling a little bit in terms of being at the plate. Um, but we'll see. We'll see who's going to take Game 4. Waiting on the Lemurs to see if they have any changes. Um, let's see. Looking at the. Oh, here we go. Davies typing. Good. All right. Both teams are saying run it back. We're gonna go ahead and let it ride for game
Two
number
GMs
4.
that are very confident in their
That's
teams.
true. It's true. You gotta be. You gotta be confident in your teams.
Mm.
As well. Oh, it's not line. Okay, that's just best batter. Sorry. All right. Let's hold on real quick. Let's go back to that. That makes more sense. Okay. Yeah. CJ. Okay. So this is actually sorted by average, not sorted by batting order. Actually, so it's not really the top 5. Um, Although Broussard is a little bit further down the lineup if I remember properly. So is Eliason. So it's not quite that simple of hey the top 5 batters are doing great and the bottom 4 are struggling. It's sorted by average. It's funny. All right. Well, game 4, we're going to see two pitchers that we saw match up earlier on in the series. Game number 1, and both of them didn't do too well. Right? You had 2 runs in the first and second inning for each of them.
And then and then they struggled a little bit later too.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's definitely going to be some redemption arc for both PM Span and Len Kagamine here. I'll go ahead and get the predictions going. Thank you for the reminder, Diesel. One moment. While I'm doing the predictions, do you want to take a look at some of these players, Dom, and
yeah,
who's really
sure.
standing out to
In a traditional caster's curse, we spent a little bit of time talking about Louisville batting, And then, of course, as they hit game number 3 there, they struggled significantly. They got off to an early lead, and that was all well and good. But once again, I mean, this series has been defined by the ninth, eighth, and seventh inning because it's such a close series in terms of talent, and it's crazy to see. In my opinion, the Flamingos just doing so much better and getting hits late, and they got Louisville got that walk off, but you should not in a close game like this. You do not want to get to the ninth down 3, and I really want to see more from the first 3 in this order. You know, O'Sullivan struggling significantly, Gump having a very good series, and Jaguar kind of in between. But this is a great opening 4, and I need to see more from them in the late and clutch situations that they want to win this one. Because right now they had that incredible walk off, but that was it. And obviously, a lot of that was in game 1. The pitching was a significant struggle. But I really want to see more out of the front 3, especially O'Sullivan, who, if I remember correctly, is batting sub Mendoza, which is not ideal in a playoff. So we'll see if they can pick up their performance when it matters most. You know, down 1 on the road in the World Series.
It's going to be a very interesting rest of the series.
Yep.
Game 4, Flamingos do have a 2-1 lead. I feel like I don't even know who's gonna win this one because
I don't either.
This series has been kind of all over the place. But submissions are closing for predictions. Make sure you get those in real quick. I
it's hard to make it.
Yeah.
It's hard to make generalizations because we've seen everything. We've
true.
seen great fielding. We've seen terrible fielding. We've seen great pitching. We've seen terrible. Like, this is such an arbitrary series. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's nuts. Looks like the submissions have closed. 60% of the votes heading for the Flamingos, 40% for Louisville Lemurs. If that 60% does hold up and the Flamingos win this one, they will have a 3-1 lead and will only need to win 1 of the last 3 games in the series to take the World Series. Lemurs will need to win this one to tie it back up, and if they do, we'll have basically a best of 3 remaining. We're definitely going to see a Game 5. Whether or not we see a Game 6 will depend on whether or not the Lemurs win either of the next 2 games. So we are going to head on into Game 4.
I want 7. I really do. I love when series go all the way.
Game 7 would be absolutely crazy. I would love to see it. I would hope that it wouldn't run into the Majors World Series time. But you know,
Let's be real here, AJ. We're the real show.
Yeah, minors are the ones that count.
They can handle it.
Minors are the ones that count. That's. I can say that until Marvel gets called up. Then I gotta go back to saying that majors are better. But minors are better for now. We're gonna go ahead. And minors are where we're at right now with the Florida Flamingos versus the Louisville Lemurs. This is the World Series. This is the big time. Both of these teams looking for the first World Series win in their brand's history. We're getting on into game with PM Scram on the mound versus Len Kagamine. And it will be Len Kagamine on the mound first to face off against these Louisville Bats. Jet Jaguar is going to go down on strikes.
What a way to start a game.
Yeah, no kidding. Lump O'Sullivan ground out to second base.
Yeah, look at that. 167. That's tough.
And Forrest Gump is going to fly out to left field. Yeah, Lump O'Sullivan not having a great playoff run.
As a famous playoff choker, trust me, I understand. It's tough.
What are playoffs? Barry Bonds with a base hit. Eddie Garr with a base hit. I was still looking at the Lemurs lineup. And Garr off for second. He will be safe with a stolen base. Keegan Halverson grounds it to the first baseman, who takes himself for out number one. Yep. Anthony Brizzo will draw a walk. Now he runners at the corners for Babe Bufflin. That one's going to be a base hit, and Florida Flamingos will be the first ones to strike in this one. They take a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first off a PM scram. It's going to be Count Dracula with runners on first and second. Launches that one into left field. No doubt on that one. That is a 3-run homer for Count Dracula. PM scram already struggling with 4 runs on the board in the bottom of the first. It's still only 1 out. Unbelievable. Yuppers is going to be up next with the base paths empty and 1 away, and that's a base hit too. Scram's got to settle down here. Florida Flamingos bats are ready and willing to keep on piling on the hits as Cabrera with a double. Now we have second and third, still only 1 out. Dexter Datamax will go down on strikes though, and that's going to be out number 2. Rob Cena Jr., the center fielder, 2 runners in scoring position, grounds it to the second baseman. And with a 3-run homer by Count Dracula helping them out, a 4-0 lead for Florida after only 1 inning. We head to the top of the second now. Louisville will need to strike back quickly here to not allow the Flamingos to pile on more runs and make this more of a challenge than it already is. Base hit by Diddle McGee after a fly out by Barry Bonds. Now we have a runner on first with 1 out for Escalado, the DH. Strike 3 as Escalado heads back to the bench. Going down on strikes, TJ Broussard had a 2-run homer last game and will add another 2-run homer in this game. 4-2 now as the Lemurs cut the Flamingos lead in half. 392 feet on the how far did it fly. CJ Broussard is the hot hand in these past couple of games. Kyle Eliason, the center fielder, now up. He'll go down on strikes. And Louisville will put 2 runs on the board off the long ball by Broussard. But they're still down 2. Florida Flamingos lead 4-2 heading into the bottom of the second. Top of the lineup in the bottom of the second for the Flamingos. Oh, they batted around last inning. I didn't even realize. But Eddie Garr will ground out. Did. Keegan Halverson will ground out as well. Back-to-back ground outs for the top 2 in the Flamingos order. Brizzo will get a base hit up the middle. It's going to be a single for the right fielder from Florida. Babe Bufflin, high fly ball into right center field, but it's going to be a fairly routine grab for Kyle Eliason. 4-2 Flamingos as we head to the top of the third now. Top of the third, bottom of the lineup for the Lemurs is going to be Davidson. High fly ball into right field. Ooh. Tracking it all the way back into the corner there is Brizzo. Kagamine will watch ball 4 go by. Jaguar will watch ball 4 from Kagamine go by. And O'Sullivan will pop fly out for out number 2. Heading for second is Jaguar, and he is safe. Forrest Gump will somehow beat that out.
Wow.
First and third. I think the first baseman probably could have ran to first and tagged it to get him out, but waited for the pitcher to cover. No damage done, however, as a fly out by Barry Bonds will end the inning. Some interesting plays we're seeing in this World Series.
Yeah, this is quite a series.
I jokingly have the Harbinger of Weird Sim Stuff tag in the main Discord. This is some interesting ones. Fly out followed by a single for the Florida Flamingos lineup. That was Dracula and Yuppers. Cabrera goes down on strikes, and now we have Yuppers on first for Datamax with 2 away. Slow grounder to third base. Datamax, though, unable to beat it out. And that will end the inning. We head to the top of the fourth. Still 4-2. Flamingos have a 2-run lead.
This has to be the first time in postseason history where you as a Lemurs fan are more comfortable with the bottom half of your batting order than the starting half. So crazy how consistently the 6, 7, 8 is outperforming the 1, 2, 3.
And McGee and Escalado, quick 2 outs, and Broussard will go down on the ground out, almost in antithesis to the comment that you just made. McGee, Escalado, and Broussard go down 1, 2, 3 to Kagamine.
We've had a lot of Castus curses this series.
Rob Cena Jr. is going to ground out to third base, and that's going to be out number 1. Eddie Garr will watch as ball 4 goes by. Now it's Keegan Halverson with a runner on first and 1 away. And that'll be a strikeout, but Garr headed for second and gets gunned down by Forrest Gump. So a double play on the strikeout. That is not something that you want to see as a
No.
Flamingo fan. But what you do want to see is that you're still in the lead, 4-2. We head to the top of the fifth. Dom taking us the rest of the way.
Absolutely. Close play. Just gets a fantastic throw by the pitcher to get that out. And then another fantastic throw to get the strikeout. I always wondered why pitchers weren't better fielders when all they do is train their arm anyway. Jaguar going to send this one deep. It's at the wall and it's a chance. And it was caught at the wall. What a fantastic grab. The center fielder denies a one-run game. Oh, that was such a close play. Brizzo up to bat. He might very well be the MVP as he's going to pop out center field. Center fielder getting quite a workout there. Has to go left then right. And now he has to field it. So all three of the balls this game, or this inning, have gone to that center fielder there. And that one just went past him. I didn't really see how the shortstop didn't get that one, but that's going to be a single for Yuppers. And then that one, a towering right field out. So what started as a very promising inning there for the Flamingos bats ends up getting nothing. We've had 3 consecutive innings of shutout ball by both teams. O'Sullivan going to ground out. Another ground out here by Gump, batting 308. And Bonds just doesn't drop fast enough. So a pitcher is really dominating this one. 2 quick innings. You have to, when you're a team that goes in while you're trailing by 4 after that really bad first inning, you feel the need to answer quickly. And Louisville did, but you have to wonder if they answered too quickly and got all of the momentum out quickly, as that's 2 groundouts by Datamax and Cena, and then Gar strikes out. But the Flamingos are happy to play this kind of defensive ball when they have a 2-run lead. They're out hitting 8-3. That can't happen in a playoff game. Louisville needs to get hot now, as McGee's going to pop out left field. They're even generating pretty good contact. Just not getting the ball where they want to. There's a ground out for the DH. And Broussard, yet another pop out. Another scoreless inning for Louisville. That makes it 5 in a row. Halverson up to bat.
Ooh.
The line out. Maybe a bit of self-preservation by the third baseman there. If he doesn't catch that one, he might get knocked out. Brizzo pops out, and that's going to be another single. Flamingos love getting random up-the-middle singles with 2 outs. We'll see if they can capitalize this time, and they can't. Dracula strikes out. Once again, this situation keeps coming up over and over. Louisville enters the 8th and 9th not batting well enough to win a game, and sometimes you're able to pull that out, and sometimes you aren't. But the theme is they do get a very fortunate single there. Eliason, no one really fields the ball, and that might be a double play. No, they just take the fielder's choice. A strikeout. Once again, Louisville needs to get their bats hotter earlier than the 8th and 9th, because you can't just be outperformed through the first 7 innings and then expect to win a series. As there's another strikeout, and runners on corners comes to no fruition, as this stays a 4-2 game. We enter the bottom of the 8th. It's going to be a walk with no outs administered to Yuppers, who's in the chat saying hi. And that's a pass ball, going to get Yuppers to second. And a strikeout. 1 out as the DH goes down swinging. Much like Fall Out Boy. I think they're the one that made that song. And that's going to be, wow, what a close play, actually. I thought that was a guaranteed. Datamax barely gets an RBI single there. And Yuppers, who reached on a close play both times, ends up getting there just in time. That's going to be a fielder's choice. Gar gets another single and close play at third, but the runner gets there. Corners loaded, 2 outs, and this one going to end the inning. One important insurance run picked up. 5-2 lead here for the Flamingos. This would have to be, once again, another miracle ninth. As Bonds is up. That's what you needed to start. Bonds gets on, no outs. McGee up, who's batting 282, then 250, and then 303. Make that 282 a little low as McGee strikes out, swinging. And there's out two. Down to the last out of this one to avoid a 3-1 deficit in the series.
Wow.
And Broussard takes that one looking. You cannot take the last out looking in such an important swing game, but they do, and the Flamingos win this series, or this game, my apologies, 5-2. One game off of that World Series championship. They dominated from the start, and it never really got better. That amazing first inning. Looking at batting. Actually, let's do pitching first because the batting's a little blurry for me. So Kagamine gets the win. Has a 3-1 record in the postseason, which is very good. 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, so a quality start. And Freddie gets the save, throws a grand total of 7 pitches for 2 strikeouts. That is efficient. Schramm gets the loss, 5.1 innings pitched, has 4 earned runs. Actually had a very good job. Struggled significantly in the first and then really cleared it up at the end there. Still not getting. Could you just read the batting?
Yeah,
please?
sure. So we 3 RBI, good game from Count Dracula on the side of the Flamingos. Louisville, as we mentioned, kind of struggling in the batting department. CJ Broussard had a 2-run homer. But the rest of them, looks like just 5 singles scattered across the board, and they weren't able to make much else out of that. Len Kagamine is going to be the player of the game with that solid start on the mound for Florida.
Yeah, very, very important, to have your starters go deep during playoff games.
And that will finish off game number 4. Florida does have a 3-1 lead now, and I would be remiss to say that it is not unheard of for a team to come back from a 3-1 deficit. We've seen
man.
We've seen it in Major League Baseball. We've seen it in the PBE even.
Someone warned the Swift Steeds fans to look away. It's about to get ugly.
As finish off the prediction, but yeah, it's not unheard of. So if you're a Lemurs fan, don't start panicking and running out of the house or wherever you're watching from screaming yet, because this is still not over. Lemurs could come back to win this, but the Flamingos are in a very good spot right now. All they have to do is win one of the next 3 games. Lemurs have to win 3 straight, which is going to be a lot more difficult than what Florida has to do to come away with a win here. We'll go ahead and finish off the Game 4 day, and we are on Game 5. Florida leads the series 3-1. And while we get the predictions going, this could be the final game. If it's not, we're going to a Game 6 at the very least.
Yes.
I'll go ahead and start up the prediction. Would you mind taking us through some of the players that we're looking at?
It's funny that Rizzo is, in theory, a lower overall, only by 2 points, but a lower overall by Forrest Gump. Both players who are playing significantly well, but Rizzo is so far where the Flamingos' offense starts and ends, and it is clear to see, especially in that last game, he had so many important hits, even with 2 outs. The thing isn't that he's a big playmaker; it's that he's consistent. And if you're the 4 or the 5 or the 6 and you're batting behind a right fielder that you know is going to get on base all the time, that gives you a lot of momentum. Because empty at bats suck. When you're up there and there's 2 outs and there's no one on, and you're just thinking, well, even if I get on, there's no guarantee that the guys behind me are going to get a hit. But when you're someone like Rizzo that can find offense, especially in 2 outs, and the Flamingos have found a lot of offense with 2 outs. They aren't always able to convert, but they're usually able to find offense. That says a lot about your player, and that gives the cleanup guys behind you a lot of incentive to try harder. And he has really been the conduit through which the electricity of the Flamingos batting has really flowed through. I also want to give a quick shout out to Rob Cena Jr. and Eliason. Both center fielders are playing so well. Doing a great job handling a very important position defensively. And there have been a crazy amount of deep hits that have turned into flyouts, and that's because of good, efficient center fielding. So definitely want to shout out those two guys for their fielding and their batting.
Just waiting on
Yep.
the lemurs for any changes here. Prediction is in, or well, it's still submission's closing, so make sure that you do get your predictions in. Looks like 9 people have voted so far, with 61% of the votes headed the way of the Flamingos. We do have the lemurs GMs typing up real quick.
While we're here, all Flamingos
All good,
fans in
okay.
chat, let's get some hype. Rep the Flamingos, go crazy, go wild. Spam your copy pastas or whatever PvE fans do. You guys are up 3-1. This is a great moment in playoffs history. Let's Flamingo, as you guys say.
All right, both teams saying
Lemurs, if you guys win this game, then we'll have a hype moment for you too. I promise.
Both teams say no changes, so we are ready for Game 5 as the submissions have closed. And Monster Man has a absolutely fantastic point. Lemurs, if they're looking to win Game 5 here and force it to a Game 6, they have to get to Nico Parsons. Nola out of the bullpen
Absolutely.
is just too good, and Nico Parsons had a phenomenal start.
Yes.
In game, was it Game 2? I think it was.
Yes. Yep.
Game 2.
That was the super defensive one until the end.
Yeah. So lemurs, they gotta get hits early in order
Yeah,
it's
the problem is with this batting group is both teams have started out pretty hot, but the Flamingos, the Lemurs trail off and the Flamingos don't. And it ends up with these pretty horrific batting scores where the Flamingos will score like 1 run every 2 innings, and the Lemurs will have 2 in the first and then nothing. And that's a totally fair point. You have to eventually string together something against the starting pitcher and the middle relievers. You cannot just score all your runs in the first and ninth. So very interested to see if they'll be able to do that. Just some really, really weird hitting trends this series.
Oh, we will see if the hitting trends favor the lemurs in this one. They need to get those hits early. Flamingos looking to clinch the World Series. Lemurs looking to force it to a Game 6. Louisville's backs are against the wall. Let's see if they can pull it out or if Florida will take their first World Series in brand history. Here we go. Nico Parsons on the mound for the first. Jet Jaguar will ground out for the first out of Game 5. Lump O'Sullivan grounds out to Gar, and now it's going to be Forrest Gump with no one on and 2 outs. Forrest Gump will get a base hit, and now we have Barry Bonds, the first baseman, hitting .382 in the playoffs. That average will stay where it is as they draw a walk against Nico Parsons. Diddle McGee will go down strikes, so the Lemurs do get a couple of base runners on 1 hit, but they bring no one home. As we head to the bottom of the first, Florida gets their first look at it here against the pitcher, James Ronlin. Grounder to first, Keegan Halverson will ground out for the first out of this one. Eddie Gar strikes out, and now it's Javithany Brizzo with no one on and 2 outs. Javithany Brizzo lines that right to the third baseman, over to first, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Ronlin. And to the top of the second, no score here in Florida. Louisville getting their next look at it against Parsons. It's going to be Escalado, Broussard, and Eliason due up. Escalado, a very soft ground ball back to the pitcher who throws on to first, and that's going to be out number 1. Broussard goes down on strikes. He didn't have an opportunity at a 2-run homer there, so that's why he didn't hit one. Kyle Eliason, the center fielder, will draw a walk against Nico Parsons. Now it's going to be John Davidson, the second baseman, hitting only .167 in the playoffs, and that will go down even further as a ground out to Babe Bufflin will end the inning. We head to the bottom of the second now. Florida up with their cleanup hitter, Babe Bufflin, due up first. Bufflin settles into the box, and we'll watch as ball 4 goes by. It's going to be Count Dracula Grounder is short, over to second for one, over to first, and a beautifully turned double play. Yuppers. That's a sliding catch by Eliason. So Ronlin will face the minimum amount of batters, despite allowing a runner to get on board with a walk. We head back to the Lemurs, the top of the third, top of their order. Base hit for Jaguar. That's a good start to the top of the third. Lump O'Sullivan gets that one past the second baseman.
That is huge.
And sliding into third is Jaguar. Runners at the corners. Soft ground ball back to the pitcher. Over to second, and that's going to go as a fielder's choice. Runner at third does not come home. Barry Bonds first and third with one away. Fly ball caught by the left fielder. Head for home is Jaguar. The throw is late. Lemurs take the lead 1-0.
Sometimes it's good to be fast.
It is, and Jaguar certainly is. Diddle McGee, high fly ball to left field. That one the inning, but the Lemurs do get one here in the third. That's a good start for them, but they need to keep Florida off the base paths. It's going to be the bottom third of the order for the Flamingos. Cabrera, Datamax, and Cena Jr. due up. Cabrera, grounder to third, over to first, out number one. Here's Dexter Datamax, the second baseman, against James Ronlin. Grounder second, and that's going to be out number two. Rob Cena Jr. will draw a walk against Ronlin. Now we have the cold-hitting Keegan Halverson up. Grounder to second, over to first, and that is going to be out number three. Score remains 1-0 as we head to the top of the fourth. It's going to be Escalado, Broussard, and Eliason due up here. Escalado, the DH. High fly ball into right field. Fairly routine grab for Javithany Brizzo. CJ Broussard, also a routine fly ball. This one to the center fielder, Rob Cena Jr. Eliason will go down on strikes, so a quick 1-2-3 inning for Nico Parsons. Lemurs not able to add to their lead. We head to the bottom of the fourth now with the Flamingos having Gar, Brizzo, and Bufflin due up. Gar hitting .390 in the playoffs, but that will go down a little bit as they go down on strikes against James Ronlin. Javithany Brizzo, the right fielder, hitting .339. Is going to settle in now against Ronlin. And he will go down on strikes as well as strikeout number 3 on the day for James Ronlin. And it's going to be Babe Bufflin. .368 average in the playoffs, and that will go up as Babe Bufflin will get on board with a single.
First hit of the game for the Mingos.
Yeah, finally in the fourth inning, and then Count Dracula will go down on strikes, so that first hit will not amount to anything here as we head to the top of the fifth. Dom taking us the rest of the way. Lemurs lead 1-0.
Yeah, real pitcher's duel here is Davidson. Has a chance, going to be a close play. Oh, they don't even try to throw. I guess it wasn't a close play. Jaguar are going to send this one incredibly deep, but that is going to be a pop out. 1 out, 1 on O'Sullivan.
Sorry,
Maybe another pop out.
I just saw Chad jinxing.
That's going to be a successful steal. And runner on first and second, 2 outs. Bonds, best batter on this team right now, gonna show it. That is going to be a huge RBI number 2. Maybe it's a close play. He does get in.
Wow.
Bonds gets an incredibly clutch one RBI single. McGee up.
Oof. That
was the exact opposite of a home run. McGee's gonna ground out and quite a dribbler, but Louisville extends their lead to 2-0, and this is what we were talking about. Gotta get more runs in the 5th, 6th. Yuppers gonna get a nice single. Oh, that's more than a single. He has trouble fielding it, and the runner stops on third despite totally being able to make it. But that is a huge hit, and this might be a sacrifice fly. Goes for it, and no chance to stop that. Flamingos within 1. Datamax with a sacrifice fly. Cena Jr. up, 1 out, 1 on. Still 1 on, but now 2 out. Runner at third. This is going to be a close play, but he does field it at left. And that is going to make this a 2-1 ball game as we enter the top of the 6th. Louisville. And get a pop fly from the DH there. Broussard up. And Broussard going to get a single. Sad Pepe in, so they did manage to avoid the dominance of the starter this time around. That one going deep, but it looks like it's going to be a pop out. It is. Runner on first, 2 outs. Davidson up. Davidson gets the walk. Runner at first and second. Jaguar up. And just too hard hit. He had a chance to beat that one out, but instead, it's going to be that last out, leaving 2 stranded. And that's a scoreless inning for Louisville. Entering the bottom of the 6th. Gar gets a single. Louisville, or the Flamingos, starting to get all the momentum in this one. That's going to be a strikeout. Double play ends the inning. Runner on first with the first baseman up. And no double play needed as he strikes out. Now they just need 1 out to leave that runner stranded. Dracula up, steal attempt, and easily gets it. And Dracula, they didn't get him out. The first baseman fields it. Okay, it doesn't end up mattering, but the first baseman just did not throw the ball to the pitcher in time. The pitcher made the correct play there defensively. But either way, it doesn't end up mattering. They leave runners on corners stranded. Back to the top of the 7th. Old Sullivan's nightmare series continues with that pop out. And there's a quick ground out from Gump. Bonds up. Gonna get the walk. Louisville doing a better job generating offense, but they keep doing it with 2 outs. Obviously, the goal is to get 2 on before you have 2 outs, as there's going to be the reason why McGee grounds out, and they leave Bonds stranded on second. Still a 1-run lead in an incredibly close pitcher's duel. That one's going to be a single. Rara gets on, Datamax up. Takes that one looking. Fantastic pitch. Cena Jr. up. And are they going to be able to turn 2? Yes!
Nice.
Fantastic throw from third to second to first. That was a great defensive play. The kind of plays you need to be making in a game that's 2-1. Every base runner counts. The DH up.
It's Nola.
Just beats it out. Yeah, Nola in. Maybe Flamingos players starting to rejoice, but Louisville not afraid of Nolan, and that one's going deep. It has a chance. It's caught. Runners on corners, though. 1 out. Davidson up to bat, strikes out. What a huge strikeout. Jaguar needs a hit here to make this a 2-run game, and he gets it. What a clutch hit. And wow, he's going to get abolished. The right fielder made an incredible throw, but either way, Louisville extends that lead 3-1. Nola
is human.
Yeah, that's the first earned run he's given up, I think. Might have been his second. That's going to be a ground out. Bottom of the 8th. Flamingos keep getting people on, but can't finish now. Down 2 outs. And this one a pop out on right field. And that's another scoreless. So Louisville has 1 inning to extend. Maybe pull the Flamingo special, a 9th inning lead patter. Maybe not, as there's another strikeout. This top of the 9th. Forrest Gump up. Gets the walk. 1 out, 1 walk. Nola already very fatigued. It's the pop out there, though. 2 outs. That one going deep, but just a little lacking in power. And we enter bottom of the 9th. Flamingos need 3 runs to be World Series champions. 2 to tie. That one's going deep. It has a chance, but it is caught. Fantastic running catch by the left fielder. The pitcher grabs that one. Kraft says, I'll do it myself. He gets that ground out. And that's going to be another one. They can't make the play, though, so tying run at home. And it ends up not mattering. So that's going to be a 3-2 series. Louisville comes up incredibly clutch. What a fantastic pitching display. just very solid all around. And they're going to cut this series to a 3-2. Um, let's do batting because I can finally see it for once. Jaguar has a 2-hit day with a run and an RBI. He also leaves 3 on base. McGee with a night to forget. 7 left on base, 0 for 5 with a strikeout. 2 walks for Gump and Bonds. They were seeing the ball great today, and Bonds, of course, has 2 RBIs. A 1 for 2 day with 2 RBIs and 2 walks is about as good as it gets. Down at pitching, Roland gets the win, 1-0 in this series. Goes 6 innings, 1 earned. Parsons gets the loss, 4.2 innings pitched, 2 earned. And is it Ron Lane?
I pronounce it
James Ron Lane?
I pronounce it as Ronlin, but Rankel's in the chat. Maybe he can correct us if we're saying it wrong.
Well, either way, congratulations. You're the player of the game with a great start. You absolute dominance by Louisville pitching. 1 earned run in the entire game. They have 2 crats, which is interesting. One goes 2.2 innings pitched, no earned, and the other gets the save throwing 1 pitch.
Oh, it's Ron Lane. Okay.
What a way to get a playoff save. Ron Lane. Okay,
Ron
congrats
Lane.
on the win and player of the game.
I was pronouncing it incorrectly. I apologize, Rankel. I will pronounce it correctly from now on. Ron
Wow,
Lane. Ron Lane.
AJ pronouncing a name incorrectly? I wouldn't think of that.
I'm usually pretty good about name pronunciation. All right, we gotta save. Let's go ahead and save that.
Yep.
3-2. Florida
3-2.
still has a lead, but
Yep.
Lemurs with the comeback win. Well, not really a comeback win, but a comeback in the series.
Yes.
With the win here, we'll advance to. We will see a game 6, so there is a travel day.
Yep.
We'll go ahead and finish off that travel.
We got
Wait,
6, so I'm happy. Anything better than 4-1, and I am content.
I just want to make sure that we're not simming over. Okay, so there's game 1 of the majors. So this will be game 6, game 7, and then there's an off day. So okay, we're still good. I don't want to sim any majors league. Oh wait, no. Okay, I don't want to sim any major league games by accident. That would be horrendous. We will finish off the travel day. 3-2, Florida leads. Lemurs and Flamingos, please do let us know if there are any changes for Game 6. It looks like we do have a change for the Flamingos for the first times. Let's see. Lemurs.
All right, I promised it if you won, so Lemurs hype all Louisville fans and players in the chat. I don't really know the Louisville chants, but go crazy. Get excited. Your team just cut it to 2. Go Lemurs. Can we quick sim? My heart can't take it. No, you're here to suffer.
All right. Pitch count is at 0 for Damian Jensen Crenshaw, and for strategy, player strategy, we're looking at Damian Jensen Crenshaw as well. And
Go
we're going
Lemurs.
to override, and the hook for starter, -1. Boom, -1. That look good, Florida?
LPG wanted to know if there's a day in between Minors Game 7 and Game 1 of Majors in case he needs to roll back Minors awards dates.
It didn't look like it. I will check for you.
I didn't think so either, but let's check just.
It looked like the day after Game 7 was Game 1 of the Majors World Series. So let me go ahead and check real quick. So, minor league schedule. So this would be Game 7.
Lemurs hype. Love to see it.
So this would be Game 7. So if the Lemurs win, we do go to Game 7, and this game will be played. If the Flamingos win, then there will be an empty day here. But the major schedule...
So legally is now a Flamingos fan. Is what you're saying.
You could still fix that. Okay. 13th is the major... Yeah, 13th is the Majors World Series start, and then the minors would end on the 12th if there is a Game 7. If the Lemurs win Game 6, there will be a game on the 12th. So... There you go, LBG. Hopefully that answers your question for you. But yeah, so 3-2 Flamingos do lead. Flamingos have made their changes, specifically to Jansen Crenshaw. -1 hook and the pitch count removal. Lemurs, no changes. They're letting it ride. So we now are in game number 6.
Hmm.
still in World Series win territory for the Flamingos. The Lemurs need to win one more in order to get to that territory for them.
Yeah, match point, as they would say in tennis and
Yeah,
volleyball.
it's true. So we are. Let me go ahead and get the predictions started.
It's interesting that Louisville pitching staff kind of felt like the Thanos me in that game, the fine, I'll do it myself. Um, where the series has been decided by batting. And then they decided to lock it down. I do have to give credit, by the way. Louisville batters performed extraordinarily well. They only got, I believe, 3 runs, but they were on base a lot. They fatigued pitchers. They even knocked Nola around a lot, which is huge. Um, but really, that was a masterclass in pitching. To go against such a fantastic batting roster and to only give up 1 earned run, especially considering, they gave up hits and walks almost every inning. There were very few shutout innings. It was just such good situational pitching to limit damage so effectively that they were only able to get momentum started when there was already 2 outs. So, when it was in the worst parts of the order. Um, so that was a masterpiece in pitching and effective situational pitching. And if you're Louisville, you like what you saw from the bats, you're going to need a little more from them this game. But, you can hardly win a playoff game with 3 earned runs unless you're the Giants. Um, Shout out to Poe. Uh, but as far as things go, that was a success both from the pitching and batting standpoint. And if you see improvement like that this game as well, it's anyone's series, which is not what I thought I'd be saying 2 games ago. Because there it looked like the Flamingos were going to easily win. So, great series so far.
Absolutely. And in order for it to be the Lemur series, you said it's anyone's series. In order for it to be the Lemur series, they have to get a win here to force it
Mm-hmm.
to a game 7. So,
Yep.
real close series though, 3-2. Both teams should be very proud of getting to this point. And
Yes. It's I often talk about as someone who has just become a minors GM.
mhm.
The most important thing that minors GMs do is they introduce and develop new players to the league. And winning is amazing, but just what both of these GM groups have been able to accomplish to, take people who mostly didn't even know about PBE 5 months ago and to make it a championship roster either way, that's really impressive. And I have to give full respect to both teams who have been involved in what's happening here tonight. I really do.
Absolutely. And we have the predictions have closed. Looks like 85% of the votes are saying Flamingos win this one.
Wow.
15% are saying Lemurs win.
They've been huge betting favorites, the Flamingos.
I think in this case, I think a large portion of the reason why people are favoring the Flamingos so hard in this one is just the pitchers. Like Pete Crimps very clearly struggles against Florida. Damian Jansen Crenshaw maybe not so much.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to
Both
be
went
interesting.
both went 7 innings, and I know
Yeah,
Crimps. So Crimps ended up giving 4 runs in 7. That's still a pretty good appearance. I think both pitchers did pretty good, all things considered. It's just that Crenshaw did better, which is what we expected.
LBG. I as a majors GM, I totally agree. Minors GMs are superior to majors GMs. Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
100%. That's why. Why do you think? Yeah. What, all right. Well, I don't know. Okay.
We're on stream. Be careful.
I don't know
Can't
if
be too mean.
I don't know if an announce. I think an announcement has been made about that. I don't want to leak anything if I know. I'm really struggling to think if like this person. I don't know. I don't think it's been publicly announced yet, so I won't go there. But Lemurs versus Flamingos. Lemurs' backs are against the wall. They got to win here to send it to Game 7. Flamingos could clinch the World Series again here. Pete Crimps versus Damian Jensen Crenshaw. We are headed on into game. Pete Crimps will have the first pitch of game number 6 against Eddie Garr, the shortstop. Grounded to short, over to first, and that's going to be a quick out number 1 of game 6. Keegan Halverson launches that one into left field. All the way back to the track is Jaguar, and he'll put it away for out number 2. few more Wheaties for breakfast, and Halverson snaps that cold streak with a homer. Brizzo and Bufflin with back-to-back walks, and now we have Count Dracula, the left fielder, who will go down on strikes, so Florida get a couple of runners on board, but they can't push anyone across. No score
That
here
was
in
a
Louisville.
wild inning just to get 0 runs.
Yeah, no kidding. We head to the bottom of the first. Jaguar will fly out to left. Lump O'Sullivan, liner right to center field, and that's going to be a catch for out number 2. Forrest Gump. So 3 quick outs, 3 up, 3 down. Lemurs, nothing doing here in the first. We head to the top of the second with the 6, 7, and 8 batters due up for the Flamingos. Nate starting to fire AJ tags again, I see. Yuffers and Cabrera both with quick ground outs. It's going to be Dexter Datamax with the bases empty and 2 away. He'll go down on strikes. No runs in the first 1.5 innings. We head to the bottom of the second. Louisville with their cleanup hitter due up here. Barry Bonds, grounder to second base. Datamax throws on to Bufflin for out number 1. Diddle McGee will go down on strikes. That's Damian Jansen Crenshaw's first strikeout of the ball game today. It's going to be Esteban Escalado, the DH, hitting .244 average in the playoffs, and that will go up as Escalado will get on board with a single. CJ Broussard, famous for the 2-run homer of the series, but it won't be one here. The fly ball to center field is going to do it for the bottom of the second. Into the top of the third now. Florida looking for their first hit with Rob Cena Jr. due up first. Grounder second, over to first, and that's going to be out number 1. Eddie Garr now. High fly ball into left field. Shortstop McGee running all the way back to get it. Keegan Halverson lines it right to O'Sullivan. You talk about self-preservation in previous games. That was definitely one as well there. O'Sullivan.
They're trying to kill that third baseman.
They are.
There's no other explanation.
Hey, they can't play if they're dead. Kyle Eliason. That's going to be a fly out by Davidson. So quick 2 outs. Jaguar. Grounder to second, over to first, and that's going to be out number 3. 3 up, 3 down. Lemurs. Lemurs going quietly here in the third. Top of the fourth, Javithani Brizzo. High fly ball to center field. Both of those lines to third were Halverson too. Oh, wow. He's targeting his counterpart. Oh, wow. Okay. Third baseman versus third baseman. Count Dracula base hit. Now we have first and second. Bufflin advancing to second there. Yuppers. First and second, 1 out. We ground into a fielder's choice. No double play turned there. Cabrera. Pop fly. Second baseman runs out to get it. Davidson. We'll put the glove on the ball for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Still no score here in Louisville. And it's going to be O'Sullivan up now, and that'll be a quick ground out to the second baseman, Datamax. Forrest Gump, grounder to third, over to first, and that's going to be out number 2. Barry Bonds will draw a walk. And now we have Diddle McGee, the cold-hitting shortstop, with a runner on first and 2 away. High fly ball to right center, and that is going to be caught and put away by Rob Cena Jr. Another quick inning, despite Barry Bonds getting on board. And that'll do it for the bottom of the fourth. We head to the top of the fifth. Dom taking us the rest of the way.
Yeah, that's going to be really deep by Datamax. And another ground out. Pitchers dominating this game. And, excuse me, there's another one. To quote the great DJ Khaled. There's another pop out to left field by Garr. The Lemurs are going to get just their second hit of this game. Both Crenshaw and his counterpart doing fantastic work. Double play ball right as they get some momentum, a double play. And there's yet another out. So we have had 5 scoreless innings, only 4 hits and I believe 2 walks. Crenshaw and Crimps both doing great work because there's another strikeout, third of the game for Crimps. Up next is going to be Brizzo.
That's quite a lot of throwing around the ball after the play there.
I love that weird pause animation. Yeah, it's so insulting. And there's another strikeout. So 2 Ks and pop fly for Crimps. And this game quickly becoming, can anyone get an earned run? And if so, who? As Davidson's gonna strike out. Man, this is playoff baseball. You bring up the Giants once, and then this becomes this series. Jaguar gonna pop out top right. I guess top right's a
Oh,
little redundant on a pop out. Yeah, that was an incredible hit behind. As Sullivan finally getting some clutch hits. And doesn't matter. Gump gonna pop it up. So 5 hits in total through 6.
wow.
We enter the top of the double goose egg, and the 6th is rare. Yeah. Tell me about it. I'm casting. Dracula pop out left field. That's gonna be a walk. Post got in. Oh, filthy. That is some great stuff there as he takes the strikeout swinging. And another one. Oh, Scott dominant out there. That was an incredible pitch. Fantastic strikeouts to leave the Flamingos with only 2 innings left to score, assuming no extras, which seems likely. Oh, McGee crushes that one, and we have broken the tie. McGee, the cold shortstop, not so cold anymore as they send a lead-taking solo shot. 1-0 Louisville. Bob McGee in full force. The DH strikes out. Broussard, the right fielder.
That's a way to
That
break out
throw
a slump.
animation. I'm going to start laughing every time I see it now. Close play, but Broussard can't beat out the ground out. So we have 2 innings of baseball left here, assuming no extras. And Louisville leads 1-0. That was an interesting round out there. Scott dominant so far. There's another pop out. 1 out remaining, top of the 8th. And that's not going to do it. Another out. 8 scoreless for the Flamingos. My heart can't take extras. You're not even the one talking. Ask me how I feel about it. That's going to be a pop out to right field. Davidson takes that one looking. 1 more out here in the bottom of the 8th, and such a defensive battle. Jaguar gonna ground out. All right, Louisville probably gonna bring in another reliever here, or a closer, as the Flamingos need one run to tie this one up. That was an interesting throw animation, but there's a ground out. Oh, gets the walk. Dracula represents the lead-taking run.
Oh,
And he might get
no!
a double play. No! The center fielder drops it. Okay, 2
second
outs.
baseman.
Runners on first and second. This game would be over right now if he hadn't dropped that. And they're going to tie it on the error.
Oh, no!
No, the
Oh,
time!
what just happened?
Unbelievable. Louisville wins it. 3-3 series.
What was that last inning? Oh, my God.
You know what that last inning was? Eliason just won them the game. That's what that last inning was.
Wow.
What a fantastic throw.
That
Unreal.
was crazy.
We have a 3-3 series.
We have a game 7.
I can't believe that. Oh, the second baseman dropped it.
Wow. Second baseman drops it, and then a gunned down runner from the outfield to end the game.
I was about to say, oh, and Florida takes the lead.
Wow.
Oh, that was incredible.
Lemurs win this one. Final score 1-0. The 1 RBI coming off a solo shot by Diddle McGee. That was the only extra base hit in the entire game. 7 hits total, 6 of them singles.
Wow.
Post Scott gets the win.
Absolute pitching dominance.
Wow. Post Scott gets the win. Damian Jansen Crenshaw gets the loss despite an amazing outing on the mound by both starters.
My dude, Crimps.
Jansen Crenshaw. Yeah, Crimps
He
had a great
showed
game.
up.
Crimps definitely. You talk about redemption arc. Crimps has been struggling
Yeah,
against Florida for a while, and then just out of the gates comes out throwing. I should say. I was gonna say comes out swinging, but that would be more apt for a batter. I would
ironic.
say. King Julian with the save. 1 inning of shutout ball. Pete Crimps will be the player of the game despite the no decision. Great pitching by Louisville all around. Only 3 hits allowed total. Great pitching by Florida too. Only 4 hits allowed. Just great pitching all around between these
Wow.
two. And look at that! Like number 1 and 2 performances of the day are the starters.
Yes,
So
a one run start is fantastic. No, I mean Crenshaw did great there. Shout out to my dude Poe getting an incredibly clutch.
wow.
Oh man, this is I don't even know what to say. This series is incredible.
Sorry, LBG, there won't be an off day right before the majors, majors worlds, because we got Game 7 to play. This
Giving up
is
one earned run and getting a
this is
loss.
crazy that we have Game 7 here.
Oh man, that was like it's like the rubber band mechanic in the show, where, where your team's bats will like intentionally get bad while you're pitching. That was incredible.
Every game in this series is an instant classic. Yeah, this is a great one. Like,
Yes. Yep.
wow. All right, let me get the prediction
Watch this.
going.
Watch Game 7 be a boring blowout. You know, all of this lead up to like some like 20-0 win.
No, this has got to lead up to like an extra innings game
I hope so. I want this stream to go on another hour.
with a rain delay in the 10th inning. For those of you who get that reference, for those of you who get that reference, you might know, you might understand whereabouts I hail from. But yeah, let's get real quick. Let's check the uncheck this. Okay, cancel. We got changes to make potentially. Davey wants a stamina check for Louisville. We can absolutely do that real quick. So stamina for the projected starter, PM Scram, is at 100% rested. Ronlin at 58%, and Crimps is exhausted. Let me know if you want any specific relievers as well. Looks like Poe Scott is the only one that actually has the only reliever that has a stamina bar. 51% slightly tired. Flamingos, excellent. We can do that for you real quick. We'll switch on over to the Flamingos and make that change. Kagamine. I'm assuming 0 means 0 pitch count. That wasn't specified though, so just let me know if that's incorrect. Um, Kagamine player strategy. Override to -1. Let me know if that's good. That should be good. 0 pitch count, and then the strategy for Kagamine, -1 override on the hook. Lemurs, stamina for Ronlin was, let's see. I did show it. I thought Ronlin is 58% tired for starting pitcher Restes. So Flamingos, are you good with those changes, or no more changes for you guys? And Lemurs, any changes besides the stamina check? It's Sharam. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been pronouncing that wrong the whole time. That's 2 names now that I've got it wrong. It's Ron Lane and Sharam. I apologize, Sharam. Let's see. Okay, can we get postcards pitch count down to 20? Oh, I wasn't aware that we could do pitch count for relievers. Would that be on our strategy, I'm assuming? Yeah, there we go. Okay, postcards down to, 25. Well, that would be override, so. Override 25. Sharam's hook slider moved to override -1 in the direction of quick. Yes, we can do that as well.
Out of the Park is such a delightfully complex engine.
PM Sharam, override -1. Does that look good, Lemurs? Okay, Flamingos are good. Lemurs, is that good for you? We got -1 on Sharam on the override, and then Post Scott's override 25 pitch count. All right, they're good. All right, so we have the changes made. I love the live changes between games. I absolutely love that there's that much flexibility in the lineup cards for like playoff series. All right, prediction started. It is okay. Let's see. Yeah. All right. Oh, last game is Flamingo for Nico next. All right. So this is it. This is game 7. This is winner take all.
Yep.
Florida Flamingos, Louisville Lemurs. One of these teams is going to get the first World Series in their team brand history. Flamingos as a brand have not won it. The team previously as the Kingston Maui's did win World Series, but this is the first time that the Flamingos would win the World Series as that brand. Louisville Lemurs, an expansion team, one of the 2 newest teams to the minors, have not won the World Series yet. They made it to the World Series last season. This is a huge game for both teams. Game 7, winner take all. Whoever wins this one wins the World Series. That's it. You get a ring.
Wow.
If you get this, the entire season culminates
Double match point
in one game. 9 innings of baseball, maybe more if we go to extras. PM Shram versus Len Kagamine. Both of these teams have got to be insanely nervous, but also insanely excited with the potential that this game carries. Who wins the World Series? You all are going to tell us what you think with your channel points. Make sure that you get those predictions in. We're seeing a lot of hype going on. I think that we would be okay to just go ahead and start the game, since the who wins the game is not going to be dependent on the first couple of innings. Well, I don't know. Maybe
There's
Florida
30 seconds. We can start.
Yeah, we can go. All right. Lemurs Flamingos, Game 7 of the Season 28 World Series. Right here.
Oh, boy.
PM Shram against Eddie Garr. Garr will line out to the left fielder, Jaguar. And a single by Keegan Halverson, the cold-hitting third baseman, will put a runner on board with 1 out for Javithany Brizzo. Halverson taking off for second. He is safe with a stolen base. Brizzo, high pop fly. Second baseman trotting out into shallow right field. And the second baseman, Davidson, will take care of it. Long drive all the way out to the foul pole corner.
So close.
By Babe Bufflin. Very close to being a home run, but no dice. And that will leave a runner stranded. No runs scored in the top of the first by Florida. Now it's going to be the Lemurs' first look at it.
Ooh.
And a quick strikeout by Len Kagamine against Jet Jaguar. Now it's Lompo Sullivan, the third baseman, hitting only 191 on the playoffs. And that will continue to go down as a ground out to the third baseman will be out number 1 here in the bottom of the first. Forrest Gump, grounder out to second. And that will be the bottom of the first. No runs scored in the first inning for either team. And now we have the top of the second. Florida Flamingos are due up near against PM Shram. Count Dracula pops out. Yuppers with the bases empty and 1 away will fly out to the center fielder Eliason. Cabrera goes down on strikes. No runs for the Flamingos in the top of the second. We head to the bottom of the second. Lemurs getting their next look at it with their cleanup hitter Barry Bonds due up first, followed by McGee and Escalado. Barry Bonds with a high fly ball into right center field. Both the right fielder and the center fielder run over there, but it's going to be Rob Cena Jr. who puts it away. Grounder right to the second baseman Datamax by McGee, and that's going to be out number 2. Escalado will go down on strikes. And that's going to be Kagamine's second strikeout of the game. We head to the top of the third. Still no score and only 1 hit for either team. Dexter Datamax with a walk. Leadoff walk for the second baseman against PM Shram. There's a bunt that will advance the runner to second, but will be an out. Rob Cena Jr. heads back to the bench. Eddie Garr with a line drive into left field, and that will be an RBI double as Florida takes the first lead of Game 7, 1-0. Halverson right to Jaguar, who puts it away for out number 2. Javithani Brizzo with a runner in scoring position, 2 outs, is going to get that one down in front of the left fielder. Runner coming for the plate and safe at home. 2-0 on the RBI single by Brizzo. Now Babe Bufflin draws a walk, and PM Schramm is in a little bit of a pickle here. Count Dracula with 2 outs and 2 runners on. Grounds it to shortstop, and they can't make the play. Bases loaded for Yup Yuppers, the catcher. Grounder to third. Over to first.
Oh!
And that is going to be out number 3. So the Flamingos do score 2 runs on 3 hits here. But that could have been a lot worse for the Lemurs. But they need to get some runs here in the bottom of the third. CJ Broussard. Liner into center field. A sliding catch by Cena Jr. Out number 1. Kyle Elias, the center fielder, is going to get that one past the first baseman, Bufflin. That's going to be a single. And now it's going to be John Davidson, the cold hitting second baseman. Doesn't need to be hot hitting to draw a walk, though. First and second. Top of the Lemurs order due up. Jet Jaguar. High fly ball into left field. And that's going to be caught by the left fielder, Dracula. Lump O'Sullivan hitting 188 in the playoffs, first and second with 2 away. It's going to ground out, and that is going to end the inning. Lemurs threatened a little bit, but aren't able to push any runs across. Still 2-0 Florida as we head to the top of the 4th. It's going to be Cabrera, Datamax, and Cena Jr. Cabrera with a pop fly to second baseman runs over and grabs it. Dexter Datamax is going to ground out to the third baseman. That's out number 2. Rob Cena Jr. against Schramm will go down on strikes. That's strikeout number 2 on the day for Schramm. And Flamingos aren't able to score in the top of the 4th, but they still have the lead 2-0. We head to the bottom of the 4th with Forrest Gump due up. Fly ball, and that's going to be a base hit dropping in front of the right fielder, Brizzo. Barry Bonds launches that one into center field. Diving catch by Cena Jr. Cena Jr. has had some really great plays out there in center field. And a double play turned, grounded into by Diddle McGee is going to be really big for the Flamingos to maintain their lead 2-0. We head to the top of the 5th with Dom taking us the rest of the way. Dom.
All right, this is the kind of game that the Flamingos have loved this series, where they are able to take early momentum. Those low-scoring pitchers' duels are where they really struggled. Halverson up to bat. He's going to ground out. By all means, though, both starting pitchers still doing pretty well. Obviously, the Lemurs one underperforming a little bit more as Brizzo's going to ground out there. Another really quick inning. Louisville needs to start transferring these momentum pitching occasions into hits, and there's a great one to lead off the inning. The DH gets a single. Broussard up to bat. And that might be a double play, and they do turn it. Louisville just unable to maintain momentum they're given. That's going to be a pop out. Very costly double play there. Flamingos keeping that 2-0. I was about to say 1 for some reason. Maybe I really can't count. Keeping that 2-0 series lead. That's a nice hit to the right fielder. It's fielder Dracula up. And going to be another quick out. That one was a moonshot. And another strikeout looking. So a very nice bounce-back performance by their starting pitcher, who's going to go at least 6 innings with only 2 earned runs. That's a quality start, but the blame has been absolved from him. And now all of the stakes lie on the batters. That's a nice single. Davidson just grounded out, but Jaguar is going to get a single. O'Sullivan up. And O'Sullivan coming in clutch. Left 2 on earlier, but doesn't make the same mistake here. And Gump is going to take this within 1. Louisville scores their first run of the game, 2-1 now. Bonds up, and Bonds does not send the runner home. McGee up. And McGee sends that one deep. That's going to be good for a sac fly. That's actually going to be a close play.
Yep.
Does get there in time. Barely. We have a tie game. Bottom of the 6th. And we might get a lead here.
Oh, no.
Oh, he gets destroyed, that left fielder. What a play.
Test the arm of Dracula.
Oh, so many runners get gunned down this series in huge moments. Louisville out-hitting the Flamingos 8-4, but only a 2-2 game here. Pop fly left. Datamax up to bat. Nice single. Cena Jr. up. And doesn't go for two, instead the fielder's choice. So Cena. Oh,
Oh,
that's a huge single. Corner's
oh,
loaded now.
safe.
Oh, yeah, that was a closer play than I thought. And oh, what a diving grab, but he can't get it! Louisville gives up the lead. A huge RBI hit by Halverson. And that's going to be the last out, but the damage has been done, and the Flamingos take a 3-2 lead at the top of the seventh. Everything that has gone into this season being concluded right now in an incredible series is Broussard going to strike out. The center fielder up had a great catch earlier. But just going to pop out there. Out number 2. Davidson up. And Davidson gets a hit. A single with 2 outs. And that is a
Oh,
steal attempt, and he got picked off. You know, as clutch as this series has been, it will be partially defined by a multitude of base running errors. As now those mistakes have cost Louisville at least a run, maybe 2. I don't have a magic wand. There's going to be 2 quick ground outs, make it 3. The scoreless top of the 8th is Louisville. 2 innings left to take the tie or the lead. Trailing 1 run, 3-2. Big strikeout by Jaguar. Nolan Nola. In the moment it shines brightest, ready to take the mantle. O'Sullivan up. And
wow.
takes that one. It's ruled a swing for the strike. Gump
Oh,
sends that
that's a
one up the middle. That one, the way the bat cracked on that one, I thought that was going to be much deeper. Bond strikes out swinging. We have 1 inning left of Miners World Series baseball. Flamingos get 1 inning to pad the lead, and then it's down to the Louisville bats. That's going to be a ground out. Post Scott still in, very fatigued. Datamax sends that one deep. There's a chance, but it's fielded. 2 outs. All right, 1 inning left. The bottom of the 9th. McGee, the shortstop, up. Flamingos leading. Need 3 outs to get their first title in franchise history. McGee sends that one. That's a single.
in before CJ Broussard 2-run homer.
The DH up, and is that a double
No.
play? It is! What a huge fielding play! And Broussard
Oh,
takes
wow.
that looking! The Flamingos win it! 3-2, bottom of the 9th! And Nolan Nola is the hero of this postseason. He clutches it up, and the Florida Flamingos are your minor league World Series champions. What an incredible series! Oh, man.
Flamingo. Congratulations to the Florida Flamingos. The first World Series win for their brand in PBE history.
That's
Unbelievable series to
incredible.
win it on, too. Go ahead and update the ticker there.
Gave up the 3-1 lead just to walk it off on the 7th.
Wow. 3-2
Oh,
is
man.
the final score of game number 7. Box score says
Man.
sometimes the winner is the one who got the lucky bounces and lucky calls, and sometimes the winner is just the one who played better. It was the latter case in 2044 as the Florida Flamingos topped the Louisville Lemurs 3-2 tonight at Lemur Land to win the World Series, the 5th title in franchise history, but the first in their brand history. When you play for championship, Eddie Garr says, when you play for championships, you have to play better than the team in the other dugout. We did that in the series and all year. Now we're the best team in baseball. Eddie Garr, the series MVP for the World Series. That's the 3rd Florida batter to get a series MVP in the playoffs this season. We had Halverson,
Wow.
we had Brizzo, and now we have Eddie Garr.
I would have given it to Nola. I really would have. He was incredible.
That would be an excellent selection as well. Grand celebration according to the sim for for in the days to come. 3 for 4 day for Forrest Gump, a great day at the plate for the Louisville catcher. But Florida, with Gar and Halverson having 2 hits at the top of the order, they were 2 of the 3 RBIs. Kagamine gets the win, the Game 7 World Series win. Nola Nola gets their 7th save of the playoffs. Postcott takes the loss. But great pitching all around from both teams in this one, though. Len Kagamine is going to be the player of the game, but the series MVP is going to be Eddie Gar. I'm hoping to try and add Unconfident in here so we can get a little bit of a GM interview going. Let me see. Let's see. Oh, I got a friend
Man,
first.
that was ooh.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the playoff coverage as I try to add in Unconfident here real quick. All right. Unconfident, are you there?
I am here.
What is
Congratulations.
up, World Series winning MVP or GM?
Oh, I need to stop myself from swearing. I was about to swear that. Oh my goodness.
We have strict broadcast standards here. Do try to keep it slightly PG.
I'll try. Oh my goodness, that was absolutely nuts.
Congratulations to you and the rest of the Flamingos on Confident. That is
Thank you so much.
an amazing accomplishment.
You're doing such a great series. That was super stressful. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, if you're the Lemurs, you gotta hold your heads high because this is still a great accomplishment to make it this far and to do this well. Just shy of the win, but great things in Louisville's future. But right now it's Florida's day, and
yes, sir.
And Eddie Gar with the MVP, series
that guy
MVP.
Went off.
Yeah,
he was nuts.
You mentioned in your in the pregame interview that Dom sent you, I believe. Did you mention Eddie Gar? I think, or was it?
I don't think I want to focus on Nola.
Oh, it's Nola.
Gar,
okay.
Eddie Gar really went off during the World Series. Like that was his series, man. Him and Nola.
Absolutely, 11 for 28.
How did you feel, if you could even put it into words, during the start of that Game 7?
I was absolutely I was so stressed. I could so nervous. Just it's so much of different feeling, man.
That
was so much worse than the Game 7 used to have cats. Like just so much worse.
Well, the stress has been lifted now.
2 4-3 wins. What a clutch team.
That was so clutch.
And we talked about both Eddie Gar and Nola Nola, and I've seen chat mention that Nola Nola was a 4th round pick in the minors. Is that correct?
Oh yes, he was. He was a 4th round pick. We got to we only had 1 pick in that draft. We were like 34. We only had like 2 options. It was him and some other reliever that I'm not going to call about. But I almost didn't pick him. I almost said no, we're going to go with the other person. But Nolan or Rapid, he said something in his interview that convinced me. You know what? Let's take the chance, and that chance worked.
Absolutely, it did. Congratulations to the Florida Flamingos. Eddie Gar, the series MVP. Nola Nola, a great showing in the bullpen.
7 saves this playoff.
Yeah, he was.
That is incredible.
Anytime we needed someone to get a stop, he was right there.
Wow. What a great ending too. Flamingos had to, as we mentioned, kind of in the pregame, you guys didn't have the easiest path to get here. You weren't one of the 2 teams with that first round bye. Lemurs did have that first round bye. You came into this one probably a little bit more fatigued than the Lemurs might have been. Yeah. And you guys were still able to close it out, which is an absolute phenomenal thing.
Yeah, we had to have Parsons be our number 2 starter because we had to go Game 7 with DJC. So yeah, it was definitely a bit of a fatigue thing there.
And it worked out for you guys in the end. So congratulations once again to you, Unconfident, and to the rest of the Florida Flamingos organization. To Musha, the co-GM as well.
Yeah, well, he's the main
GM. Excuse me. I apologize. Musha, the main GM, and Unconfident, the co-GM. So congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
As well as the rest of the Florida Flamingos organization. We're going to go ahead and wrap this stream up by doing the upload. I'm going to go ahead and save. I forgot to save after you said.
You better goddamn save.
Oh no, we lost. I guess we'll have to resim the World Series, guy.
God.
So everyone in the chat before anyone leaves for the upload, be sure to tune in and stick around for the Major League World Series between the Indianapolis Apex and the Outer Banks Aviators tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. That is literally in an hour and a half.
An hour and a half.
That's an hour and a half. So go get dinner or lunch wherever
Should be
you
another
are.
hype series.
Absolutely. Like, go get some snacks or a meal, get some watch some TV or something, and then come on right back to the same channel in about an hour and a half for the Aviators versus the Apex, the Majors World Series. We're going to go ahead and start that upload, and then we will be done after that. Go ahead and execute, and the upload is
Majors
on its way.
to top that series. There is no way the Majors World Series. I mean,
yeah, no, they're not.
I don't think you get better than what we just watched. That was incredible. That double play, I had to cover my mouth because I was gonna scream. They had two on and got a double. Are you kidding me? That is incredible. What a great series.
Man, some of these World Series games that I sim are just insane.
Magic happens when you and I cast together, AJ. It's true. We always get the weirdest ones.
Yeah, we do get some weird ones, but it's gonna be LBG. You it's you, Hummus, and some other and some special guests potentially as well. Is that correct for the sim tonight?
Oh man, Hummus can be on that?
I think so.
Oh, how unfortunate.
It's you and Hummus. Yep. Okay.
Just went, well, I'm not going to watch that anymore.
Not my problem.
Dude, you can talk whatever trash you want. Users, teams, you've earned it.
Thank you.
Maybe some Majors World Series jams. Nice.
It's got to feel particularly special, unconfident for this to be like the brand's first World Series, right?
Yeah, there's a couple Mounties ones really special.
Yeah, maybe as much of a welcoming tour to the Flamingos as it is a proper goodbye to the Mounties legacy. So
we'll see.
Oh man,
very interesting World Series.
Enoch, why? I just glanced at the chat and Enoch's saying hashtag fire AJ. Why do we fire AJ now? What did I do? What did I do wrong?
Man, the Hepcats didn't make it to the World Series.
You rigged it.
I did no such thing. If I had rigged it, the Vandals would have done a lot better this season.
And the Bears would have.
That's true. Yep. Bears would have been the World Series. Yeah. If anything, that's proof. Oh, just because. Okay. Paz says can't wait for the Miners World Series. You're a little bit late there, Paz. Oh man.
Man, the Miners World Series. Who do you guys think is going to win that?
Well, I don't know, man. It'd be a tough series to decide who's going to win.
I have a feeling it's going to go to 7 games. I just have a feeling.
It's a bold prediction.
Yeah.
I think the Flamingos will sweep it.
If you guys are in the Flamingos server, make sure to check out the new server icon we got over there.
Oh.
I promise I did not ask for it to make. You just had this ready.
You still with us, right?
What's his name? Shout out Night MC for the ring. Truly, yeah. Pretty good graphics guy there. Shout out him. I think he's a Vandal.
He is. He's done quite a few of the Vandals Hall of Fame banners, actually. Like the Team HOF banners. Most of those, I believe, have been done by Night MC. Last season's were not, but that was because Night MC was one of the ones being honored, so we wanted to make it a surprise. But but congratulations to the Flamingos. What a series, man! This is this is just what a series too. Just 4-3. It goes all the way to Game 7. You guys had to be sweating a little bit there after the Lemurs came back in games 5 and 6, right?
Game 6, when we got thrown out at home to end the game, I was about ready to jump off the building. Oh my god! Like Dom said, base running mistakes, absolutely.
What was my call? Didn't I literally go like, "Oh no!"
Something like that. I was just like, come on. I was so mad.
That's such a weird way to lose a game. Oh man.
I'm gonna say I want to get Musha in here as well. I just sent Musha a friend request, so Musha, if you're listening, accept that friend request and we'll get you in the call here. Want to get your takes on it as well. All right, let's see.
Well, now I get to add a trophy to my name in the miners chat. Let's go.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
Wow.
Musha, are you there?
There he is. There's the man.
Hold on 1 second, sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Left on red. Tough.
Oh, awful.
Sorry, I had to get away from my screaming dog. I apologize.
No worries. Congratulations, Musha.
Oh, thank you. I thought we were going to lose it. I was dying at the end.
Yeah. It had to be. We were just saying to Unconfident that had to be very scary in games 5 and 6 once the Lemurs started staging a comeback there.
Yeah, we won't even discuss the types of words that were being thrown around in Discord at that time.
I would love to be a fly in the wall in the Flamingos right now.
That was a roller coaster.
Did you all have a giant voice chat going on for the World Series?
No, we didn't.
No, but I mean, we all typed.
I don't think I'd want to be in DC while those games were going on. I think I might have. Yeah, it's better that it was just text. I could control myself.
But I mean, who else was it going to come down to but Nolan Nola, right? I mean, come on.
He pitched 3 straight games to end the World Series. He pitched 3 straight games. He was gassed and still came through.
As soon as I saw him come in, I'm like, oh, here we go. That's it.
On one hand, I was like, well, it's Nolan Nola, so of course we're going to get it. On the other hand, it's like, well, he's been used for so long. He's got to be tired.
But not to take up all the time. Can I give a few shout-outs if you don't mind?
Absolutely, yeah. No, we got time with the upload, so
You're
take your time.
champ,
Before
man.
you do that,
Okay,
I just want to say, Flamingos got a ring before they got a real hype emoji. That's all.
Actually, I want to add on to that the ghetto hype emoji has become like a loved thing in the Flamingo locker room. You don't even know.
Well, I do know. Maybe.
But no, I wanted to shout out to Jimbo, who started this journey with me. Man, we had some crazy drafts there. And then I wanted to shout out to Unconfident because, he came on board and he never even missed a beat. He was right on board with the process from day one, and we just got it going. And then I want to shout out to the whole team, for just updating all season long, which is, is really the key, right? I mean, at the end of the day. And we had some good teams. When we took over this team, the Mounties had a string of bad luck. And so our goal from day one was to do this. So, we're just happy to do it.
That's well said, Misha. Unconfident, did you want to add any shout outs as well?
I think you hit the nail on the head there. Shout out Halverson for getting that. I think it was the game-winning RBI, even though he sucked the entire series. And to shout out my player for being absolutely irrelevant, except for that one throw from right field.
And
that trade for Dracula, I never imagined it would have paid off the way it did. But
and I remember we traded him for Royd Wallace. We blew up Royd Wallace in Game 7, and then Count Dracula came through all throughout the playoffs. Nuts.
So wait, yeah. was that a trade with the Lemurs that happened? The Count Dracula?
No, with the Hepcats. We blew up Hepcat. We blew up in Game 7 the Hepcat series. We blew up Walrus.
Gotcha.
And then he just kept getting outfield assists. I don't know what was up with that.
Apparently, it's got a great arm. Yeah.
Don't mess with the vampire.
But it was just a great season. And to be honest, we felt like we underperformed throughout the entire regular season. So we're not shocked to see this, But
who knew that, out of anyone, a vampire's arm would be better than his bat? Get it? Because
It's true.
vampire bat.
Yes, I get it. Yeah.
I'm waiting for the booze in the chat for that.
I also think I made the joke that he that he sucked for most of the series with his bat.
Vampire puns.
Yes, it was great. But no, I mean, it's just, and we did this with 2 IA pitchers too, so just think about that. It's crazy.
Yeah, bloodshine, and somehow Parsons, like, playoff master, just he came through in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
And one more shout out, actually, TJ. We traded for his player Parker Parton at the deadline from the Wheelers. Mm-hmm. He pitched 3 shutout innings in game 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
Or something. He was great.
Yeah, he had some. He had absolutely a great outing there in that game. So, well done to TJ, the new player already paying dividends.
Yep.
Yeah, he came in at the trade deadline and got a ring right away.
I wish I could say the same for Marvel.
Efficiency. That's what that is.
I wish I could say the same for my recreate.
Maybe if you retired this season instead of last season.
Yeah, because we had 1 first-round pick last season, and we pretty much knew from go that it was it was going to be Halverson. I mean, there was there was not really any debate between us. So,
and a great pick too.
Thank you.
Keegan Halverson, known for attacking the opposing third baseman with the line drives.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
He was more focused on that than actually getting on base.
Apparently, yeah.
Trust me, we rode him the entire series.
Oh my God. You guys, doesn't matter
Can
anymore.
you get a hit today?
No one's gonna remember that he sucked.
No.
No, the ring is what matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Can I give one final shout out? I'm sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. By all means, we're still
I just wanted to shout out, and I don't know if he's still in chat or not. I stepped away from my computer, but I just wanted to shout out to Diesel for leading the Mounties for so long and bringing us, to this point. Pretty much since day 1 when I came into this league, he saw something in me and immediately gave me the role of GM in training. So he helped a lot too.
Diesel is in chat, so it's a good, absolutely a great presence, especially in the minors with Diesel. Very guiding figure for these young minors GMs. So
for sure.
Oh,
okay,
man.
well, I gotta go, but I just wanted to say, let's Flamingo.
Yep.
Well said. Thank you for joining the call, Musha.
No problem.
Bye. Take that as a note to head out. Thanks, guys, for the stream, especially because we won, and I'll talk to you guys later.
And thank you for joining the call on Confident. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, see you guys.
Thank you.
A big congratulations to both Florida GMs, and a big thank you to them for joining the call and talking with us. I'm sure they're really interested in celebrating with the rest of the team. So it means a lot that they're able to take some time out of their day to come chat with us. Upload should be just about finishing up, and then we're gonna say goodbye. But in the meantime, I want to give a few shout-outs of my own. So thank you to the chat for sticking around to this point. Really appreciate having you all here. Thank you to you, Dom, for co-hosting.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Yeah, always a pleasure, and we witnessed quite an interesting series.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie, I think we killed it. I think we did fantastic. So I'm pretty confident about that sort of.
Well, I know you did. I know you killed it, so that's good.
You did great too, man. Look, I wouldn't have the energy I had if I wasn't in the booth with someone who I valued so much.
Oh, I appreciate that. That means a lot, Dom. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, index is updated. I'm going to go ahead and publish it. Thank you, chat, for sticking around. Be sure to tune in about an hour, 20 minutes from now Majors World Series, Indianapolis Apex versus the Outer Banks Aviators. That's going to be a good one as well. I can't wait to see who comes out on top over there. But LBG and Hummus will be your hosts for that one. And then we got some off-season streams coming up as well. Let's see. I'm going to real quick pull that up just so I can kind of give a little bit of a teaser. But let's see. Summer schedule. Where is it? There we go. Okay, so Thursday of this coming week will be the Majors draft stream. I will actually be hosting that. Hopefully I'll get some Majors GMs in on that as well. We're going to see where some of these Season 29 creates wind up. I can tell you right now that Wendy Marvell will wind up undrafted. Saturday, November 6th, is the Season 29 Minors draft stream, where some of these Minors GMs will be picking up their new players for the upcoming Season 29 season. And then November 7th, on Sunday, will be the Season 28 awards. So be sure to tune in for all three of those, as well as the Majors World Series in about an hour and 20 minutes. That is all we have for you today. I hope you all enjoyed. And have a good rest of your Saturday. Farewell, everyone.